Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Obsessed Beholder. I am your GM, Brian, and this is Into the Fey. Joining me today are my players, who will introduce themselves right now.
Right, my name is Cairo. I am playing Edward DeCanneth Oakcrest. I am a variant human, profane soul blood hunter. I'm kind of the edgy scholar of the group. I'm equipped with the obsidian adamantine sword, too sharp for me to handle, and I usually always carry my scroll case on me, and I just take notes randomly and ignore everyone because that's my favorite thing to do. So who's next?
Awesome. Carl.
My name's Carl Marshall. Now, Carl, he's just a plain old son of a bitch. He really doesn't like dealing with most human folk. Pretty much why he ended up becoming a ranger. And after a unfortunate turn of events, eating some kind of magical acorn, he turned into a giant tree, prompting him to end up down the primeval guardian path of the rangers. Pretty unassuming, tall, lanky, somewhat tan, little stubble on him. Just looks like your typical wilderness hick. But he does what he can, take care of his friends, and make sure everybody gets home safe after a long day.
All right. Next up is Yoink.
Hi, I go online by Squibbles. I'll be playing Yoink Skedaddle, a Aladrin elf artificer. Yoink specializes in runes, which also cover her armor from head to toe, especially her boots. She loves to go fast, yoinking what she can and skedaddling the heck out of there. She's always on the lookout for little gadgets, gazmos, goodies to steal, money for the group, but of course, always looking for that special something to nip and take. Um, Most notably about her is that her hair is always changing color based on her emotions, as well as she is the group's household holding. Basically, she has a purse of holding. She carries all the gold, she carries all the goodies. That's all you gotta know about her for now.
Basically, if you're playing Monopoly, Yoink is the banker.
Yep.
Last but not least is Goldor.
I go by T-Money. My character is Gordon Pass. He's a dwarf. He's a fighter. He's always out front fighting with Edward. Yeah, he has adamantine armor. It's pretty simple, pretty beard. That's about it.
All right. With our players introduced, I would like to go ahead and go through some announcements. On behalf of Digital Dungeons Academy, we are raising money for Extra Life. In chat, there are links you can follow to provide donations. We appreciate any donations that you may give us. Thank you very much. I'm too quiet. Maybe need to adjust my thing there. All right. I would also additionally like to shout out Sirenscape for our audio this evening, as well as Luke Hart for his module Into the Fey that I am currently running, in association with Keith Baker's Eberron setting. And last but not least, a shout out to all you GMs out there who inspire me. Thank you very much, and let's go ahead and get into it. So, if everyone's ready, go ahead and start tonight's episode. And continue tonight's journey of Eberron into Thelanis. Last time, the unmet sentinels, after having slain the sister Driftwood Ethelworm Wiggle, rescued Ariana Abadi and the Elven children from the clutches of the Vexborn mercenary group, seemingly working with the Dask forces that inhabit along the Breland northwest border. victory was short. However, as an army gathered outside of Bone Castle, the place that they assaulted, led by one General von Bluthracer, the Vexed Mortal. After leaving with a captured Razor Gnome wizard named Razo Razorblade, and thinking quickly, the party managed to literally cut a path of escape out of Bone Castle and the awaiting army. As it was flanked by lizardfolk and Eladrin knights. Before they left, Yoink managed to see, standing with Bloodrazor's side, their once captured ally sorcerer, the tiefling Jeremiah Thark. Now escaped, our heroes find themselves in a lizardfolk tribe, several miles from their encounter, resting after hours of trekking through the harsh swamps of the lands. After a bit of downtime, several hours have passed. Edward, as you thumb through the tome given to you by Anarchus, and absorbing the knowledge within, feel personality, that a bit more personality come into you. Yoink, you set to work fixing Nippy, your small chest-like homunculus. And after a few moments of work, you manage to bring back the charming little strange doggo that is the chest. Carl, you convene with the druids, and you manage to figure out a navigation plan, noting that the sun and moon do not rise in the same directions as on the material plane, and that the swamp itself will attempt to deceive you as you make your way. But now with a direction in mind, you have plans. Take a little bit of time, prepare a few of the healing herbs that you have gathered from their stores, after asking Yoink for a bit of trade and some gemstones. In Goldor, you set to work rallying everyone in the camp, just in case trouble may befall the Lizardfolk village, raising everyone's spirits. The floor is yours, guys. One of the druids approaches your group, actually approaches Carl. She says, "It has come. There has been word. An army has started to approach. 2 trolls clad in armor, and a small platoon of razor gnomes. Some goblins accompany them as well. It was word from our scouts before they retreated. We will be moving out soon. We will be moving our village soon."
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before they ended up finding us. They probably ain't too happy with y'all for helping us out there. But, did they say what direction they're coming from?
They are coming from the west. That's all we know.
How far out? Are they a day's ride, or?
They will be upon us within an hour.
Well.
Only a couple of miles outside the city. We recommend you move quickly and gather your companions and the children and leave.
If you don't mind me asking, which direction are y'all heading?
We will be going northward. The Razor Gnomes do not travel too far north.
Well, I wondered, do you think they're going to be pursuing you or us? That's going to be the real question.
They will have trouble finding us. We can breathe underwater.
Mm.
And some of our talents do allow us to travel without being seen easily. Gift of the forest.
I understand. Well, I do appreciate y'all's hospitality, but I do think we should be taking our leave at this point.
Indeed.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
She looks at you with emotionless eyes, but nods. Go then, spirit. Go then, guardian spirit. May the tree father protect you.
And may he protect you as well. And I'll take my leave from her and hustle back to the group. Well, y'all, we needs to get moving. And I'll relay that info about the army coming. We're gonna have to move, fellas.
Okay, Tree Daddy, first thing first. We gotta come up with a better name than Tree Father. Like, I'm good with Tree Daddy, but let's just keep it a little bit more consistent. Okay, wait. So if they want to head north, why don't we just follow them? Do our best.
I mean, we could, but we're kind of going the opposite direction of where we need to go.
Would it be safer for the kids?
I would have to imagine so.
Yep. It's 18 numbers too. We could have them fight for us. Tree father.
They don't seem to be the kind, mushy, huggy type of folk, if you get my meaning.
They've been kind enough.
And not saying I can't convince one or two of them, maybe, but
The
we'll
last
see
time
how
trying
it
to
goes.
convince anyone, we all got attacked. So I don't know about that.
He just smiles.
Well, they think you're a god, so maybe, transform into tree form.
Possibly.
I'm gonna just look at.
We need to pack up.
Yeah, we need to start packing up.
Can I look at the kids? How well are they doing right now? Are they doing any better?
The druids have already tended to their sickness with lesser restoration, so they are much better now. It is a sacred pact. It is a pact between. Basically, it's a good faith on the lizard folk to help out the elven children, the children of the elves, because they trade with them openly.
Okay.
So yeah, the 3 children are much better. Ariana, the lizard folk don't detect a sickness from her, so they don't necessarily cure her of anything. But she doesn't appear sick. She just keeps asking around for. But she does keep asking. Actually, that's a good point. The children. As you say that, Ariana actually comes up to you, Yoink, and asks, "Where's Ethel? Is she awake yet?"
Sweetie.
Still sleeping. She's really tired.
The thing is, we're all moving to a different location for a better garden, so that way you can help her out there. Ethel is... And I'm gonna look at the others for help in this moment, just kind of like shifting my eyes between them.
She says she's so proud of you being so brave. She'll meet you there.
Make me a deception check with advantage. Actually, no, just a straight deception check, both of you. Yeah, both of you.
At this point, Edward's gonna try to shift through his notes, and he's gonna try to pull out something to help him in this situation.
What are you pulling out?
Well, there's this little thing called philosophy. You know what I mean?
All right.
So,
So, what kind of philosophy are you laying down that'll help in this situation?
What kind of philosophy am I laying down? Well, I don't even know why you asked this. There's this one golden rule. All right? It's good friends, good alcohol, and killing bad guys. And we did 2 of those things, minus the alcohol.
All right. Yeah, straight roll.
Yeah. And better words, what would it be, by the way? Just straight deception?
It's still gonna be deception from those 2. For you, it's I don't even know what you'd call that. Probably like persuasion, but it had nothing to do with the.
I'm just gonna walk up to her and go, well, Ethel's sending you on a mission. Though this mission was not given to us, clearly, but I think Ethel would want you to better yourself as a person and try to move on and become independent.
Okay, that's like both a deception and a persuasion, so I will give you half proficiency and for persuasion.
Oh, sounds good.
Dissuasion.
Okay. Well, my proficiency bonus is plus 3,
so
do
it's
I round
plus,
up?
It's just it's a plus. It's a plus 2.
Okay, thank you. I got a 15.
And the rest of you?
Big numbers, a 5.
Yes.
I got a 6.
A 6?
Yeah, D&D beyond is not fine.
Right. In that case. So. You see once again, Yoink, the eye, the veins once again get dark again in front of her face and underneath the eyes. They spider out for a moment, and her eyes start to get black for a moment as you start to lie to her. As you and Goldor start to lie to her, but then Edward distracts her quickly by telling her that she has her own mission. She doesn't seem to be enthused by it or moved by it, Edward. It just seems to distract her and catch her attention away from the deception.
I'm gonna try to lead her away from those 2 and keep pulling out philosophy notes to let her read from my more grave university days.
Okay. She just goes ahead and given a task, she will do that.
As soon as they're out of earshot, I'm just looking at Carl and Gildor and just saying, okay, so we gotta speed this up. No going north. I'm sorry about that. That was a mistake. We gotta make sure we get her out of here as soon as possible.
All right.
What do you think?
I would have to agree. Something don't seem right with that poor child.
She's getting black veins. There was something in in her big cookbook of kiddos about a transformation that she's going to be going through. And if we don't start making a potion to fix that, she is going to be in a lot of trouble, and we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we gotta hurry.
Right. Well, let's book it. I figure if we lizards are heading north, we need to head south. So terrain-wise,
Yes.
are we talking, say, trees large enough to hide behind, or?
So it
Are we
depends on
dealing
it depends on the immediate area. In the immediate area, there are a couple. They're sparse in this area. It's mostly swamp, marshland. There are some smaller trees, but they're really but they're definitely drowned and kind of died, kind of look dead.
Well, do we head east first or west first? Head towards the dragon, or do we head towards the army?
The
50-50 shot.
Well, the army's going to be aware of us.
Yeah,
So
the
they'll be on
dragon,
the lookout.
dragon is southeast.
Correct. So is the village we need to head to.
We should just head east. Take an extra day.
Possibly. We just try to skirt around the north side of the dragon's territory, loop back around, come into Fallon Shmarlar from the east side. Sorry, I never can remember that town's name.
It's the. Oh my god, it's so weird. I know it starts with like an F, I believe.
Phelan Silmair.
See, I get close. Fallon Shmarlar.
That's definitely the car.
Maybe.
Remember?
Yeah, let's go with that plan. Let's gather our things and where's Razor?
He's
There he is.
he's in the he was in the book, or he was in the house with Edward last. He stayed in the house. He didn't go out with you.
We should probably fetch him too.
We should.
The lizard folk have all but taken down the huts that matter. They've left the ones that you guys use because they no longer need them. Those warriors were killed, and so they don't need to take what they can't carry.
So when you say huts, are they animal skin lined?
No, they're more or less made of twigs.
So thatch.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
like thatch huts. They're
All right. So, yeah, nothing worth trying to scavenge.
Yeah, they only
Alright.
take the parts of and they only take parts that are like really important. They don't like take the whole things because that would just weigh them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like at most, they're gonna take like the rope that they use to find the thatch, but that's it.
Yeah. All right. So that
So
seems
this is-
a halfway decent idea. If we head east, and it's probably going to add, it might even add a day to our journey. But if we head east for a ways and then turn south,
Specifically, it would take you 4 days to get to St. Silmar if you take that way.
correct.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
I think it does.
Yep, sounds good to me. Let's get going.
All right.
Before we do that, I'm actually gonna call Nippy over, and just kind of pick him up. So, Ethel was having Ariana pick flowers, petals, all that fun stuff. If we do need to distract her with something, why don't we just have her start putting stuff inside of Nippy?
Seems
See
like
if
a
we
good
can
idea to me.
Have Edward convince her, or you, Gildor.
Okay, so convince Nippy.
No, convince her to put stuff into Nippy. I mean, he's a cute little chest.
It's to convince the girl to pick like herbs and flowers to put inside of Nippy while we travel.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll go talk to her, and I'll leave the group and try to find the little girl.
It's not hard to find
Yeah,
her.
I'll-
She's with Edward.
Yeah, I'll still be
Okay.
an eye shot. I just wanted to get them away so they could talk privately.
Yeah, so I'll need
And,
that.
yeah, while you walk over, I'll probably be like kneeled over to like be at the girl's level, like showing her philosophy notes and like talking about my time at the university. Yeah, I remember these days. I was sitting in class and the professor was just drunk. He was just talking about some random nonsense with his second cousin, talking about his ex-wife. It was a lot. I don't remember much that day, but he told me about this weird like cat in a box. I don't know what the Eberron
Right.
version of Schrodinger's cat is, but I mean, there we go.
I tap Edward.
It's
Okay,
canon now.
alright.
There's a scientist called there's a scientist version of Schrodinger in the Eberron now. But with that, yeah, Golder, you
That's
approach
my
and
mechanics.
Ariana is absent-mindedly just looking at the notes, not really paying attention to what Edward's even saying. She's just given a task and doing it. What would you like to say?
I would like to say, first of all, we're basically on the same height, so I'll kind of knee down a little bit. And I'll say, honey, listen, we got an important task for you. We need you on our way to for you to pick flowers and to put in Nippy, the boxer. And I point at Nippy. I'm like, get it? The boxer? Is he box?
Maybe just yelps in the background and just fucking tackles Edward.
Oh no.
You think you could do that? You think you could do that for us? It's really important.
She doesn't laugh, at the joke, but because that was just me. But she looks at Nippy, hears what you're saying, and says,
Thank you. I knew I could trust you. Thank you. And I get up and walk back towards the group.
Give me, actually, Goldor, as you do that, give me a persuasion check, though.
26.
Good. Alright. With that, she gets up, hands you the notes, Edward, and have a new task, and she starts to just wander. The other children kind of are just watching, and they're just kind of looking at each other. They're checking in with each other. They're like, okay, yeah, like around it, yeah. They don't have much, so they're ready to go when you guys are. And yeah, are you guys heading out now?
When she walks off, I'll stuff my philosophy notes back in my scroll case and sling it over my back.
Good. 'Cause Carl was about to start dragging you by the back of his collar.
Yeah, we start heading out. Oh,
He's got ants in his pants right now, ready to run.
Yeah, I'll help one of the kids walk and travel and keep them close by.
Okay.
I'll help one of them too.
I'd say I'll be a good 20 yards ahead.
Yeah, he's our ranger. He can scout.
Okay.
And sorry, what time of day is this?
It's about approximately about 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Equivalent.
Just let me know whenever it gets dark, and I'll be casting dark vision.
Question for you guys, because Yoink is with you. Yoink, you remember? Are you getting Raz? Or do you remember Razzo?
Yeah, I think Yoink is, as soon as that all happens and is concluded, she's just briefly walking to Razzo, showing him a couple of just notes and everything that they previously discussed about fixing his hand, and she's like, "We're heading this way. It's probably safer for you if you come along with us."
He was in that hut, and as you come in and show him that, give me a persuasion check.
I just need to stop talking. Like, yeah, that's a 3. No, I'll use my 1 DM inspiration.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we need Razzo with us.
Yeah, we definitely do.
That's a 15.
That's better.
But it's much better.
Razzo sighs, closes his spell book and other notebook, stacks them up, puts them in his backpack, along with the components in his component pouch, and says, "Very well, I will come with you."
Just big old thumbs up. Just walks out.
All right, good, great. Come on, let's go. Time to hook 'em.
One second, sorry. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, keep in mind I'm rushing the characters, not the DM.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I had to answer the question really quick. I was being told about Twitch interactions. I'm not familiar. This is my first time. So, anyway, as we, you guys start to move out, the lizard folk part ways with you, heading north. Oh, I'm not aware of that. Okay. Apparently there are... Do I have that? I don't think I have that. So, unfortunately we don't have the player interactions, but I didn't think of that. But, as we continue on, I need you guys head out towards the east. I need Carl to make me a survival check. If anybody else has survival, you can have advantage.
Yeah, I have survival. +4.
+4?
Yep.
Alright, yeah, Carl, you can roll with advantage.
Good, because that just cancels out disadvantage.
Is he still exhausted?
Yeah, he is still exhausted.
Yeah. Yes. So 14.
14, okay.
By the way, I can probably also help. I have the advantage due to Hunter's Bane, and in the description it says I can guide my group through specific terrains in those areas. So, and we're in the Feywild, and one of them's from the Fey. So I don't know if I could also help out.
Yeah, you would add, you can also provide the help action as well, but, or you can make your own roll. It's up to you.
I'll make my own roll.
He's gonna be backseat driver.
I will. I got a
He's
15.
He's backseat this time.
Yeah, I got a 15.
15, and Carl, you got what?
14.
14, 15. Okay. Alright. At what pace are you guys heading out? Probably a fast pace?
Yeah, I'd probably say a fast
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah.
I imagine so.
I'm gonna try to keep the children like around me and probably Golder.
Okay.
Yep.
What is a party marching order for you guys, by the way?
Well, Carl, since he went first, and then probably me, Golder, and Yoink would be like in a small group.
Yeah, Golder would probably have to be next to, right next to, or behind Carl to help him out. And then you're
Okay.
backseat driving.
Carl would recommend a Galder up front, kids in the middle, Ed and Yoink in the rear.
I think
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
furthest in the back.
Yeah. And we could do like one line, right? So that way it seems like one person's walking. Like.
Yeah, I'll be like right behind the children. That'll work.
Okay. Yeah. So it'll be Carl. Carl, Edward. No, Carl, me, Edward, and.
You're just in the back trying to muck up all of the footsteps.
Oh yeah, don't forget about Ranger too. He's somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Razor
Razzo.
will probably be near me.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be right next to you. Yoink, you're in the back?
Yeah, Yoink's in the back.
Okay, and the children are with who?
They're in front of Edward and probably Razzo, since he's near me.
Okay. Razzo is going to trail behind you a little bit. In that case.
Okay.
Apologies if my audio isn't good when I walk away from this set. People on Twitch, I will try to speak up when I'm over at my. Alright. With that, I need everyone to roll me a d6.
I got a 6.
Ooh, I also got a 6.
Hey.
I got a 5.
Hey. Carl, what'd you get?
He got lag.
Yeah, Beyond's being a pain.
Ouch.
I gotta refresh the page. Tech on it. Always tech issues when it goes live.
We will
Sorry,
be patient.
page is almost refreshed.
We'll be patient. All right.
I got, and of course, a 1.
No.
1. Well, 2 6s.
Oh yeah, I like counters.
Carl just wants to show on how godly he is in tree form.
Yeah.
All right. With
That's
that,
why he's called Tree Daddy.
you are moving. Carl, you are leading them. You are leading them at a very quick pace and making good time. However, because you are exhausted, I will require everyone to give me a Constitution saving throw as you start to travel through the thick swamp, muck, and difficult reeds that are part of this Feywild that are part of this swamp. You can see the thick cattails pushing past you as you make your way.
Well, Ed got a nat 1. I think I'm gonna burn my inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Didn't do much better. I got an 8.
8. Okay.
Same with me.
This is gonna be rough.
Two
We're gonna
8s.
have to fight.
Goldor got a 23.
You only got a 15.
Pushing through in a 15. Okay. And roll for the children and for Rafa. Children are not too bad. Goldor, you're helping the children. And yeah, Edward, I assume the reason why you're having difficulty is you're helping the children out.
Probably. I'm like right behind him, and I'm like 5'11", so I'm like hunched over, trying to like make sure they don't fall.
Yeah.
Watch
Razzo is doing fine. He actually, like, as his razor skin comes into contact with most of the reeds, it just cuts through like a swath, and almost like a you can see now the military training coming through as he just kind of.
Razzo should go up front, clear out some of those reeds for us,
Ask him if you want. He.
Oh, I will. Hey, Razzo. I'm getting a bit sluggish. Do you want to walk up there and like cut some of the reeds for us so we can make the path, easy for the children?
You have to listen to him bigger about philosophy if you do.
He looks at you and just says, "All right." And he pushes ahead of you. Goldor, you feel a little. You feel a person come up behind you, and that natural competitiveness comes up to you, and you're like, "No, you don't get to go in front." But he starts to just cut through and cut a swath for the rest of the party. Helping you out a little bit, but not exceptionally. Like, doesn't make an exceptional difference as you make it through the reeds. You do eventually get out of the heavily marshed area to a bit of an more solid ground. Now choked with these more dead trees, a couple of large trees. And at this point, you all are kind of getting to the point where you're feeling like winded a little bit from that trek. You do require the children need a bit of a short rest here.
Right. Edward's gonna like kind of prop himself up. You said we were near a bunch of dead trees. Like
there's a bunch of dead trees in kind of a thicket, and then there's 2 larger trees.
I want to see if we can walk like in between some of the larger trees where we have a bunch of like natural cover, and then I want to prop myself up and keep watch for any approaching armies or scouts.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I would want to make sure they're covered from view, and then try to eliminate our tracks as best as possible, and then meet back up with them.
Okay. As you two are watching, you notice during the travels, Ariana has been putting things in Nippy. giving Nippy treats in the form of like random weeds and reeds, not necessarily flowers. Like flowers to her in this state don't register. She's just putting any most plant matter in Nippy. He gets full a couple of times, and yeah. What are Yoink and Goldor going to do?
Goldor is gonna kind of sit by the children to make sure, like, if something happens, he takes the brunt of the force, try to keep them safe and calm.
I think the first thing that Yoink does is just kind of like open up her purse of holding and just kind of like let Nippy like regurgitate all of the reeds and everything into the bag, and then just give a big thumbs up to Ariana, and then
who just absently looks at you and stares. Her task complete, she says. She goes to you, Yoink, again, and says, "Is Ethel almost done sleeping? I really want to talk to her again.
why don't you
If I don't."
tell me a message and I'll do my best to get it to her.
I don't need a message. I need Ethel. I need Ethel. And yeah, you can tell the black veins are starting to come through again.
I think Yoink is just immediately like reaching down at whatever plant there is and be like, "This! She needs more of this! Why don't you find this and like stay with the kids and just start gathering them all up in a small little pile? Ethel will be super proud of you."
Really quickly, DM, someone in the Twitch chat said that your volume was a little low.
It is. Okay. I will adjust my mic again.
Next week.
I will lower my desktop audio so that it doesn't. Alright. Is that better? Hopefully for everyone. With that. Give me a persuasion check.
I'm just giving sad puppy dog eyes to Gildor. A 9. For the record, that's a -1 on my checks.
And I'm gonna get up and I see those eyes. I'm gonna get up and like, that's right. She did tell me something like that. Yeah, she said she wanted these type of plants.
Okay.
You know how Ethel is. She doesn't really explain herself. She just kind of gives orders.
I'll give you an advantage.
Thank you. Kind.
Oh no!
Am I nearby? Like, can I hear this going on?
Why? What's the result?
It was a 9.
It was another 9.
It was a 9. Okay. You do see this, Edward. You have because of your alert senses, you sense danger immediately. Give me, Carl and Edward, go ahead and make me perception checks for you guys watching. But we'll get to that later. Just save the number. With that, you notice, Edward, the child is starting to shake. She clenches her fist. Give me an initiative check, Edward.
Oh god. At least I'm good at those. I got a 23.
Beats her, luckily. She did get a 20.
Damn.
Right.
Edward, you see it just in time. What do you want to do? Something bad is going to happen in a second.
I want to run over there and pull out a random plant out of the ground, and I'm just gonna run up to her and just hold the plant out. Hey, do you know what this plant is? I I actually really want to know. It's for my notes.
Give
Yeah.
me
Really quickly.
give me
Alright.
a persuasion check.
I got a 19. A 19. Yeah, Ethel really wants me to take notes of all the plants in the area, so we can collect them, and make things with them.
What'd you get on the persuasion?
19.
Okay. There's a moment, Yoink, that you feel almost this force like grab around your shoulders and then your waist. But then as Edward rushes over with this plant and distracts her, she immediately loses the concentration on you, and the feeling goes away. And she looks at it and just goes, I don't know. Ethel just told me to pull weeds. Told me what they were. I don't know what plants are.
Oh. Alright, well, do you want to help me study it? Over there. I'm just gonna, point back to my post where I was keeping watch.
Okay. She'll follow you.
Alright, I'm gonna bring her over there and, pull out my scroll case and, take out an empty piece of paper and, my quill and put out the ink vial and, get her to take some notes. And I'm just gonna start, listing off, the characteristics of this specific plant and, to my best knowledge to find out what it is.
Edward, as you're doing this, you notice that there is a black vein that is not receding on the side of her face.
On the side of her face. How big is it, and where is it located?
It's
exactly?
faint. It's small. The vein itself is small, but it's not going away this time. It's not receding.
Okay.
It almost looks like a scar too. It's kind of strange. It's like both a vein and a scar. Almost like a marking.
A marking. Can I roll to see what this is or anything?
Roll an Arcana check.
Arcana to just look at it.
Yeah.
I got a. I have advantage if it's Fey related.
It is. Fey. What are all your advantages? Fey, Fiend, and.
It's Fey, Fiends, and Undead.
Yeah, it would factor into one of those.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll again, and I got a 23. I'm glad I had the advantage.
Whatever it is has roots in both Fey and Fiendish origin. You're not completely certain, but it's similar to. It's very reminiscent of something along the kins of what you took to become a blood hunter with your dad. But it's different.
Boy. So bad for this kid.
And when done in this, and because of that, and she is too young to take that potion, you would know this. Most people have to be at least 13 or somewhere along the lines of maturity to actually undergo that, unless they were forced to. And if they were forced to, they usually didn't. Is what your father always said anyway. You never really saw anyone have to do that.
Do I know of anything that would cure it, per se?
You do with a 23. You know there is a potion. You'd have to research it with your. I'll tell you, with your background, you would have to go into Morgrave University. Would absolutely have information on that.
Yes, my sage background. All right. I'm gonna leave her to it.
Okay.
to write notes and like walk over to Yoink and like whisper in Yoink's ear. Seems the child's undergoing this dark, horrible magic. We really need to get it to safety soon. There's a permanent black vein that didn't recede this time on one of the sides of her face, and there seems to be a scar there. It's a marking of some sort. She won't make it unless we can heal it. And then, with saying that, I'll just walk back over to the kid and try to distract her some more, keep her busy.
Okay. With that, yeah. What's Yoink do after that?
Yoink is actively avoiding this kid. If she looks at my general direction, I turn around. I'm not trying to upset the child anymore.
Okay.
Best I can. That is what she's doing actively for however long we're here.
Got it.
That's...
I need whoever's making okay, so back to those perception checks. Did you guys finish the rest?
I got a 13 for my perception check.
Okay.
Crit fail.
Ooh.
Crit fail.
Yep. Gotta love disadvantage.
Oh, that sucks.
Alrighty. With that, you start to hear. With that, Carl, you lose track of time, and you guys start to kind of just shake out the kings, kind of adjust your armor, and as you're kind of feeling like, and as you're kind of resting there, you kind of almost lose track of time. And it isn't until, Edward, you hear it, that you realize you've been here probably a bit too long. As you hear the sound of chainmail, as you hear the sound of chainmail and shouting approaching, and it sounds like, "Ah, yes! They're nearby! I can smell them!" A big, boisterous voice booms. Not but maybe 100 feet or so away. What do you all do?
I'm picking up the scroll casings and the quill and my ink and putting them in my backpack and grabbing the girl and running back over to the group to whisper, "Hey there, they're nearby. We really need to get out of here right now." And I'm gonna start like getting all the children up, running over to Golder, getting him ready, making sure I shake him a few times, slap him back and forth, spit on his shoes, make sure I wax. No, I'm gonna walk back over to Carl and get him to come with us.
Carl is like, Carl, you're fast asleep.
Probably.
I'm shaking. I'm shaking him.
I'll wake up and I start shoving Carl too. Like, wake up.
All right. With that, I need everyone. Actually, I'm not gonna have anyone roll initiative because approaching your camp is as you're waking up Carl and Yoink as you are starting to like get the kids to safety behind one of the trees, likely. A massive troll with 4 arms. What looks to be like this really intricately designed woven chainmail that depicts fire emblem, flaming sigils etched into it, and runes all over it, with a spiked helmet and a massive long sword. Starts to approach, and seeing you and smelling you. "Ah! There you are!" He says, and as he calls, and he says, "Parley for now! Parley!" Razzo just kind of whispers, just kind of whispers, "Oh, this is, you are lucky, he says, sorry, that's not the word, but you're lucky. This is Sir Tyrannos. He's honorable, at the say the least. And Sir Tyrannos says, "My name is Sir Tyrannos of the Four-Armed Company. I regretfully say that you have gone against the Vex Mortem, and I am to bring you to justice, or defeat you in battle. You can either surrender now, or we will see you on the field of battle. How do you say?"
Based on how polite and his mannerism, Edward was just kind of like look surprised and step forward and kind of give him a bow. "Well, I am Edward Kenneth Oakcrest, and sad to say that you've gone against the unmet Sentinels. Though we are just trying to save these children," and I'll just kind of gesture towards the children. "Is there anything that we could do to just let the kids live on and kind of return them to where they're supposed to be, and I will gladly come back to turn myself in."
"I'm afraid the children will be part of the capture, good lad. But I respect you." He bows and says, Sir Edward de Kenneth Oakcrest, "it would be an honor to face you in combat, but it would be similarly an honor. There would be no dishonor in your surrender."
Yes, I thank you for that, but the children are very important, so if you'd like a duel, then you shall have one. And I'm gonna pull out my sword and get ready for combat.
All right. He says, "Stay your blade for now. We must come to the terms. Give me a persuasion check."
Ooh.
With advantage because you've hit his flaw.
18.
18. Okay. Yeah, he says, "Stay your blade for now. He looks to his lieutenant who sits by. "Sir Bonepike, you bear witness to a challenge. I am honor bound as part of the Four-Armed Company." Sir Bonepike just says, Yes, you are, sir. It would seem." "Yeah. Very well. What is the stakes to this duel?"
Okay, I would like to suggest that in the states of this duel, if I shall win, then you will let us and our group here return the children. And if you win, I will let you take the children and I will surrender my life to you.
Your life?
Yes. I believe in consent, and I can't take theirs, and I'll point back to Yoink, Golder, Carl, and the other children.
"Stakes will be you all surrender your arms if you fail to win. It will be unconditional surrender."
Arms as in our weapons, or arms as in, like, and she's holding up her arms like very confused.
"If you are trained in the martial arts, I will cut them both off."
Oh, I'm good then.
Oh. Alright then. Say, if you're upping the stakes for us, then why can't I up the stakes for you? So, what do you say if I add to that? And if I do win, then you'll have to tell us all the locations for this Vex Mortem, and I'll make sure I come back to face your other comrades in the Four-Armed... what club? Is it a clubhouse for...
No, it's the Four-Armed Company is a branch, is an arm of the Vex Mortem's military.
Oh. Well,
We work with the task forces as well from the material plane on Everon. Anyway, he considers it. These terms are appropriate.
Does he have razors on him, by the way?
Was he what?
Does he have razors on him?
This guy does not. He just has a spiked helmet, and he has chainmail armor.
Alright, then I'm gonna pull out my scroll case and pull out an empty sheet of paper and write out these terms that we've both said. And then I'm gonna put 2 like little lines and then sign my name. And then I'm gonna walk over to him, show him the contract, and pull out my hand for a handshake. So shall we shake on it?
I will bow. Thank you. His hand, he gestures to his hand, which is bladed and sharp, and he says, I might accidentally cut you, my friend.
Oh, fair. Okay.
He will go ahead and looks at, and he takes out from his like very gently, like almost like chopsticks. He pulls out like a tiny pair of spectacles, and he puts them to his face. He looks down at his massive, sharp troll features. Looks down at the page, and he reads it.
I wrote it in common, by the way.
He can read that, yes.
Alright.
Yes, these are the terms. He goes ahead and he takes just one of his claws, stabs himself quickly, and puts a fingerprint on that. I've signed it.
Oh, well. Okay, that's fair. I mean, if I cut myself, then things would happen.
What kind of warrior cuts himself? He turns to Sir Bonepike. Sir Bonepike shrugs.
You know, you'll see in a second. And I'm gonna like walk over to the trunk of the tree and put the contract on it. And then from my side, for being a sage, I have a small knife, and I'm just gonna stick it in the tree and let it hang there. And then I'll walk back over to the battlefield and take 10 paces back.
Meanwhile,
turn around and look at him.
Yoink and Carl, I just want to make sure you are aware. As this is happening, you notice that your group is being surrounded by the razor gnomes and the goblins. Just letting you know. But they are not attacking. They're just getting in position. And
I figured by the time Edward started to walk over to the troll, Carl had got the cobwebs shook out, saw what was going on, and he's going to grab one of his mushrooms and his flask and get ready.
All right. With that, you notice that the goblins are getting into the position, and then Sir Tyrannos gets up with a big puff of his chest. He says, "Right, the formal duel has been issued, men. Stand down for now." They all come out of, and at that, they all actually just come out of their hiding spots. There's approximately 4 goblins and 4 razor gnomes. The 2 of the goblins look like those ones that are highly trained that you fought before, that had the guns. But these versions, these particular goblins only have hand crossbows.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
They noticed the gun was taken, and they were like, "We're not going to give them more."
I'm imagining that. I imagine my face is still scarred from the last encounter.
A little bit, yeah. It's still. There's still a heavy burn mark.
Who knew trees caught fire?
Who knew?
I did.
I figured it out real quick.
All right. I will have to try to speak up. So, we will be using this map. Let me know where each of you are hiding. I need... Edward, you are taking a place at the battlefield. Sir Bonepike will take his massive sword and he will cut down this tree to get out of the way.
That is a big sword.
Yeah, he has a huge ass. He's basically wielding a little bit bigger than a greatsword.
Oh boy.
Wow.
And he's wielding it with 2 hands, but on only one side of his body.
Well, that's kind of badass, not gonna lie.
Where is everyone hiding out? Case in point, the children are hiding right here. The Razor Gnomes have surrounded you guys. Golder, where did you want to be placed?
I'd want to be placed to the east, almost not right next to the children, but close enough to them.
Got it. So in the copse of trees here.
Yes.
Okay. Carl, where did you want to be placed?
So, where were the kids at again?
They're over behind this tree.
Okay. So I would be at the nearest tree to them, and I'd say on the other side from the troll.
So right here. Sorry, that's not you. Right there, about.
Yeah, it looks good.
Razzo is just sitting in the tree next to this tree. He's watching curiously, kind of propped up against it. Yoink, where do you want to be placed?
I think she would have been subconsciously walking towards Edward and the giant troll, just because he had runes on his armor. So I imagine she'd be somewhere between the middle runes, yeah.
Yeah, just as you approach, you can make me an Arcana check on the armor if you want.
Yes, please. That's a 24.
This is a permanent fire rune. This effectively turns that chainmail into armor of fire resistance permanently.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
Yep. These guys are trained military people. They would spread themselves out really well. This goblin is way farther away. He's not actually like right up on you. There we are.
So whenever he had called for his allies to come out, do they still look aggressive, or have they put down their weapons?
Oh, they have their weapons out, but they're not aggressive. They're just kind of, crossed. They have their arms crossed, ready to watch the battle that's about to happen. It's always a spectacle to watch Sir Tyrannos duel someone. And with that, Sir Tyrannos then says, "Right then." And yoink. And with that, I will have everyone that wants to be involved with the fight roll initiative.
I mean, I gotta throw my hat in the ring.
No problem. And I will actually retrieve
Oh,
my seat.
and of course, crit fail.
You're still really sleepy. Oh, by the way, you do have to. Well, you don't have to roll with the disadvantage because you already rolled with a 1.
Yeah, it don't matter. I can't read it
Don't
worse.
So
Poor
that's a 4
Carl.
for Carl.
He's just wore out.
Razzo is not part of initiative.
After literally carrying the party, half the party.
Yep.
Last session.
Edward?
I got a 17.
That's
Not
actually
my
pretty
best,
low
but-
for you. I'm surprised.
I know, it's not my best, but it's there.
Goldor.
I got a 19.
19. So whenever I pre-roll initiative, initiative's always like really like hit or miss. Like but most of the majority of them are like really bad. So,
Does that mean I still go first?
Actually,
I
yes.
got higher than
Actually,
you.
yes, you do.
Oh yeah, he's dueling, right? So
Yeah, he is dueling.
Ah, yes, of course.
So he got the same initiative as you, Edward, which is cool. But you have a higher initiative score, so you will go first. Yoink, what did you get?
Right.
11.
11. Since you wanted, that's if you want to be involved in conflicts. All right. Well, you guys still have your temporary hit points and everything. Golder, you're first. Did you want to do anything, or do you want to just pass your turn for now? Because this is a duel.
yeah, I'm gonna pass my turn for now because it's the duel.
Understood. Alright. With that, I will go ahead and put on some action music.
I am gonna try.
Let's go with the cool pirate music I got.
Roll just gives you that farewell nod
Alrighty.
as you turn to go.
Some of you may die. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make.
That is right.
Let's go.
All right.
With this, it is your turn first, Edward. He starts to move, but you're just a little faster. And he goes, "How about thee? Your turn first, then."
I would assume I already have my blade out since we're starting the duel.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to bring it across my hand and cause it to catch a flame. This is what I was talking about a warrior who had hurt themselves. And I took 5 damage.
Ow.
Sadly.
Super sharp blade.
It is, it really is.
And he goes,
All right, and
Saturnus, to that, Saturnus goes, "Ah! Some man with surprises!" He looks back at Sir Bonepike, who is at this point stepped back a bit, because that's fire and he doesn't like that. And they both look a little bit shocked by this. Go ahead.
That's good. Alright, I'm going to be using both hands, and I'm going to step in and see if I can swing for his leg, and then come back across with his chest. I got a 23 to hit the first attack,
Alright.
and then a 17.
17. What was the first one again?
23 to hit.
Okay, that first one will hit, but but as the second one comes into contact, he actually takes the blade and intercepts it using a parry as his reaction.
Okay. The first one does 17 damage.
Okay. How much of that was fire? He is resistant.
6, so that'll be 14 total,
Alright.
since he's resistant.
Okay, that actually does hit his skin.
Alright.
Let's see. And you did a total of... And how much was the fire again?
It was 14 total. I did 6 fire, so I already did the
Oh, gotcha.
resistance for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Alright. The first strike hits Saturnus right in the leg, and but then his blade clashes with yours. Your blade actually cuts into his blade like a full couple of inches before it's stopping. And he goes, "That blade, incredibly sharp." In fact, actually, it kind of deflects off the blade, and like a whole section of the sword actually comes off. And he's like, "That's not good." Well then, how about thee? And he comes at you. Is that everything you want to do with your turn?
That's everything I can do, unless I want to run away.
Got
I got 15 AC, by the way.
it. Got it. Yeah, I adjusted your card. Right?
All right.
Let's see. All right, Sir Tyrannos takes his long sword, and as he parries off that blade and looks at his own sword that has a piece missing, he goes, "Ha! My turn!" and strikes out at you with his double wield with his two-handed long sword.
All right.
That is going to be a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Another 17 to hit.
That hits.
Oof, and that one's going to hit because that's a 17 on the die. So,
He has 3 attacks.
yes, he does.
Holy crap. I think I'm gonna die, guys.
Oh, wait.
That is a total of 15 points of damage on the first hit.
Oof. Jesus.
15. Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually no. I'm sorry. I did the math way wrong. That is that's only 10 points of damage on the second, and wow, that's really low rolls. Only 8 points of damage on the third as he batters into you. With the first hit slams into your armor, your weakened armor, Edward, and almost pushes you back as he as it does, he actually slashes 2 more times with his longsword, and in striking you the 2 other times, it only nicks and it only hits you with the tip of his sword on the last 2 strikes, dealing less damage. I hit too hard, Sir Burnpike. Indeed, sir. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Yoink. Carl, what do you want to do? Yoink is first. Get that man.
I think Yoink is just taking a quick look at everyone around. So none of the goblins, not his lieutenant, is helping or assisting. They don't look like they're about to jump in.
They are evaluating. That's all. They seem very relaxed, like this happens a lot.
Okay. I'm just gonna turn to Carl and just say, I think it's time for you to get your sign work up. You might be a little rusty. And Yoink is gonna start heading over towards the kids.
Okay. You move towards the kids. Are you still wanting to maintain eyes on the battle?
Not right this second.
Okay. So you're just heading over
then,
to the children.
Yeah, I'm going to item interaction take out a small little rope.
Okay.
And I think that's it for now.
That's it for now. Okay, Carl.
Just dodge action.
Gotcha.
Well, Carl's gonna take one last swig, toss his flask down, and I think it's bonus action tree time.
Okay. Where is this going? I'm concerned. All right.
Full of surprises.
You become a tree. That kind of takes a little bit of... That takes Sir Bonepike off guard. He goes, "You there!" He says, "Why, God, by Jove, that man became a tree!" It kind of distracts. It kind of distracts Sir Tyrannos. I'll say that Edward's next attack has advantage in the duel, if anything else happens. Yeah, that's very noticeable to all of the goblins. They all look at you, Carl, and they kind of have their weapons trained on you, but they're still nonchalant. They're not sure what you're doing. Continue.
Well, what distance would you say that is between me and the nearest guy?
Like 10, like probably, okay, so yeah, because they're a little bit further back than that, they're probably like 20 feet, but that's not very far.
Alright, I was wondering. Yep, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
He's just gonna kind of leap forward and unleash on that fella in front of him.
Right back here. You're gonna engage with that guy.
Yeah.
All right. That is one of the highly trained operatives. He sees you, and with that, I'm gonna say that is going to make them all roll initiative because they weren't in initiative, but they are all surprised, so they won't act on their next turn. And oof. And with that, actually, this is a good time for us to take a break because I need to fill out some initiative cards. So we will be right back in just a few minutes. Thank you all for watching. We will return. All right. I have gotten my initiative done. They have done their little planning session. And we are back, ready to continue this fight that has broken out over everything. Fun. So, Carl, go ahead and give me... let's continue this where we left off. You approach this Goblin operative. What do you want to do?
He's getting the 1-2 combo.
All right. Lay into him. He is surprised you have advantage.
14 on the first. And 21 on the second.
Okay. That was just your advantage roll on the first one?
No. Sorry, that was both attacks. 14 for the first and 21 on the second.
Oh, okay. Got it. Understood. I misunderstood. Wow, 14 with advantage, huh?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me look really quick. So he manages to just barely dodge out, jump out of to dive to the side as your first attack slams down, spraying and sending muck and debris flying. But now that he's on the ground, you take your second attack, you slam it down right into him. Go ahead and roll damage.
Got 6, and I'm gonna designate him as my favorite foe.
Favorite foe, okay.
And take another D4 damage. Quit lagging out on me there. Alright, so that's 8 total.
8 total?
I cannot roll nothing high. It is
It's okay, we all feel that pain.
Except for me, of course.
Alright, so the one of the operatives, okay. One of the operatives takes 8 points of damage. Okay, he is still up. As it slams down, he barely dodges out of the way as it almost bisects him in half, and he takes out and with the same roll he rolls all the way up because he didn't fall prone. I'm just styling it, and he takes a knee and aims his hand crossbow at you. With that, it is the Razor Gnomes and the Goblins are surprised this round. It is Sir Bonepike's turn. Sir Bonepike says, "Oi!" "Oi! That is foul play, sir!" And he starts to make his way over. He charges over past these goblins. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, no, he can go through these. So he's going to take his action to slash apart this tree, but he has to stop there. Yeah! And he similarly has a longsword in his hand as well. But it's basically the size of a greatsword. Additionally, he has chainmail as well, and a shield. Alright. Sir Bonepike's turn is done. Goldor, you're up. What do you want to do? Carl has made a choice.
I'm gonna rally Edward. I'm gonna grab my battle axe, my shit, I'm gonna slap it. Get together, Edward.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that for me.
Here. So you got a total of 10 hit points.
Nice.
Holy crap, thank you.
Yep.
Desperation kicking in.
And then I'm gonna try to move south towards one of the one right in front of me. If I can reach
Okay,
him.
you're gonna move through this. This is difficult terrain, but you can move past it enough with your athletics to engage with that one. That's a razor gnome.
Yep. And I'm gonna try to attack him.
All right, you pull the axe out. Go ahead and make your attacks as you come in with the battle axe.
That's a 16 to hit.
That just meets his AC. As he tries to raise his shield, you clip past the shield and it impacts into his armor.
So, and then I'm gonna use maneuvering attack. So I'm gonna expend one superior die to add that to my damage.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
That's a 7. Let me write that down. And I'm gonna use maneuvering attack on Carl. That way he can get away from that guy who's in front of him.
Okay, Carl, where do you want to go next?
Alright, so I want to move about 5 to 10 feet to my left, to the west, and
Okay.
try to keep that guy from being able to get to the children.
Got it. You're basically proccing all three of them. Got it.
Correct.
Okay, got it. You shift in to cut off the guy. He was going towards you, but that's fine. Yeah, I understand. All right, and Golder, what was the damage on that?
Oh, I haven't. Let me roll that damage. So that's sorry, that's 10 plus 7, 17.
10 plus 7, 17. 17 damage? Damn.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Golder's a beast.
This is why I always say, like, you think the new races and classes coming out, yeah, they're good, but nothing better than the classic Battle Master, let me just tell you. All right, that was one attack for you, Golder. Do you want to follow up with a second?
Yes, I would like to follow a second. I'm gonna.
All right. Go ahead when you make your attack. Just roll your damage dice with it.
Okay. That's
Oh wait,
12.
you're rolling with D&D Beyond. You can't do that.
Yes. Yes. Oh, do you want me to roll in
No, it's fine. What did you get on the attack?
12?
12 total.
Damage. Yes.
12 total. That is going to miss. He brings his shield up. The second attack as he takes it with the shield. Oh, you have advantage because wait, no, he's not surprised anymore. Never mind. Sorry.
Sorry. Did you want me to roll to hit or just to damage?
To hit.
Oh, to hit. I'm sorry. I rolled to damage. Let me do that one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a failure in communication. I apologize.
Yeah. So 19 to hit.
Okay, then we'll take the 12 damage. All right. So you slam into him 2 times, impacting twice into the armor. It doesn't quite. It cuts into the armor slightly, but doesn't do it. It doesn't do any lethal strike yet. But he does not look good. He is looking pretty. He looks pretty injured by that, just from the impact alone.
Okay, and then can I can I use action surge or that?
Yes, you definitely can.
All right, I'm gonna use action surge, and I'm gonna roll to hit to attack him one more time.
Go for it.
That's a 14.
14. That unfortunately will miss. He brings the shield up, and now that you've hit him twice, he brings the shield up and deflects it. You have one more attack because action surge gives you your full double.
Okay, roll to hit one more time. That's a 17.
That will hit. It slams through the shield. Give me some damage.
Now, can I use maneuvering attack on the same person again, or is that not?
You can. I guarantee you're probably gonna finish him off with this attack.
Alright, just to be safe, I don't want to roll low. I'm gonna use it on Carl.
Okay, well, you're gonna use the maneuvering attack anyway. Got it. Or, all right. Carl really doesn't need to move. Are you sure you want to do that?
Then I'll use it on. Yeah, I'll just use it on Carl.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll damage.
Oh no, bro. So with the attack, that's a 9. That's what I get for being greedy.
Okay. No, that's enough. You take him out. Let me see if. Yeah. Goldor, you take the axe and you slam it. You unleash a flurry of blows onto this man, and he you cut into his shoulder. The axe cutting deep into his arm, and he goes and he falls over dead, bleeding out into the swamp.
That's a humanoid, correct?
That is a humanoid. He is.
As my reaction, can I cast Soul Cage for my sword?
He's too far away. You have to be within 30 feet.
Ugh.
Alright, with that. Anything else? You have a little bit of movement left, Goldor, and you still have a bonus. Well, yeah, you still have a bonus. No, you used your bonus action for it.
Yeah, I used my bonus action to rally Edward. In that case, I am going to end my turn right there.
Right here, or do you want to move? Do you want to move closer to the enemy behind you, or to the east or west?
Oh, there's an enemy behind me? Yeah, so let me go towards the enemy behind me then.
Alright.
Really quickly, DM. For Soul Cage, it says the range is 60 feet.
Is it 60 feet? Okay. The sword tries to light up, but unfortunately, that his soul is a face soul. You cannot absorb it.
Sad.
Yeah, I accidentally made a mistake on that. I let you get away with one of the gnome wizards.
Yes, you did.
That was my fault. But we're gonna call it out now. With that, Goldor, that is your turn. Edward, it is your turn now. What would you like to do?
It's my turn. Alright, I would like to attack this man again.
Alright, you're gonna attack Sir
Both
Tyrannos.
attacks. I got a nat 20.
Oh my god, go ahead.
Second roll, I got an 18 to hit with my second roll.
An 18, he parries that one.
Okay, that's fair.
So you strike in, he just goes,
Both
ah!
It'll be, he still has the resistance. So that's 16 damage total for the first one. Still with the resistance. And then...
The second one didn't hit. Oh,
No, it's I crit, so I have to roll again.
you don't have to roll again, you just do max. Remember.
Yeah, I know, we're doing max, and then I have to roll the second one.
Oh,
I usually do max.
I'm so sorry, I misunderstood you. Okay. As I was.
Alright, that'll just be...
So 16.
28 damage total. I already calculated the resistance as well.
Okay. And that deals fire damage, yeah, and you dealt a critical hit, meaning the fire takes effect. See, this is why I wasn't too worried.
I'd find a way.
Because I know you can do a lot of damage. But you cut deeply into his side as you sidestep, as you take a sidestep, and he goes, holds his side as he barely has time to, and just kind of moves as your second attack comes in. It goes against the armor, and this armor actually repels the blade. It's actually bounces off. You're not, because this weapon goes through anything you cut with it. It's kind of shocking. You kind of step back a bit.
I definitely want that.
With that, it is Sir Tyrannos' turn. He does not regenerate because he took fire damage. He says, your companions have no honor, but at least you'll show me yours. He will go ahead and he is going to attempt to grapple you.
Oh boy.
please roll with disadvantage a athletics or acrobatics check. Actually, it doesn't matter for you.
It's the exact same for both. Well, I got a 13 plus 5, so 18, and then a nat 20, so I'm going to take that 18.
Got it. So 18. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
He tries to turn around and snag you, but he misses with one of his arms. With that, he only gets 2 strikes on you with his sword as he swings around with his massive blade. He will... Oh, that is a really cocked die. He crits you back.
Oh, no. That might be the end of me.
Okay, that is an automatic 24 damage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's definitely close.
Plus... Ooh, and I rolled high this time.
Oh, yeah, I'm done.
Plus 16 points of damage.
Oh, I am at 0.
Alright. He takes a single swing and slams into your side. You hear, and you all kind of hear just all the bones, some bones crack as Edward is sent sideways. And because he was in the middle of a swing, that's with advantage though. Oh my god, wow, really? Insane. He actually, because he didn't expect to knock you down, he hits you over to this tree, and his second attack, comes in, but you're not there, and he just goes, "Ah, I'm the victor. Stay your blades, you fiends! I have won. You surrender now." That's all he says for his turn. Yoink. It is your turn.
Yoink's just gonna whisper, "Oh shoot!" She's gonna pull out her little set of tools in the other hand, and then quickly, like as she's casting the spell, snip off some, and she's gonna cast Rope Trick. The rope is gonna quickly extend about 5 feet into the air, and she's gonna look at the kids. Go inside, hide. Shh.
They scamper up. And Ariana blatantly just says, "Okay," and just walks up. And just gets in.
Casually walks up. Okay.
She is going to... Oh dang, yeah. She is going to run her 40 feet
Okay.
to Edward.
To Edward.
Yep.
The children are... Well, I'm going to leave the children there, but I'm going to say there is a magical effect on them. They are magically protected. You run 40 feet towards Edward. I'm going to say with 40 feet, because you have the speed rune, you can make it right to him.
Okay.
With no problem.
And then I'm just going to look up at Sir Tyrannos and just quickly tap my forehead and activate my Fear Rune.
Fear Rune.
So as a bonus action, I can fear up to my int mod number of creatures within 60 feet. They must pass a wisdom save or be frightened until the end of my next turn. It's going to be a DC... It's really bad. DC 14 wisdom save.
Alright.
I'm going to be targeting Sir Tyrannos, the
Lieutenant.
other giant creature, and let's go say the closest troll.
So, okay, you're going to target Sir Tyrannos, Sir Bone Pike, and one of the goblins, either this Razor Gnome right here or this goblin.
Let's go the Razor Gnome, please.
Razor Gnome, got it. So Sir Tyrannos, in the wake of victory, is unaffected by your fear. He says, he says, "I do not fear you." You rolled an 18 on the die. Sorry, dude.
That's fine.
The Razor Gnome will. Razor Gnome has advantage on magical effects that are mental. And what's your DC?
14.
He fails it. So this guy is feared. Frightened condition. The Goblin fails it terribly. He just goes, "Ah!" razor gnome goes, what? Looks very confused. Alright, Yoink, that is your turn. You do have the benefits of your speedrun in effect.
Fantastic.
Razzo's turn. Razzo. What does Razzo want to do? Guys are lucky. I keep rolling my natural 20-ish on whether or not he betrays you or not.
Oh, I figured for sure was it going to be right now.
Yeah, that's what I figured too.
Oh
But-
yeah.
If he betrayed us, he was gonna go back to them and he's gonna get killed anyway. So
Mm-hmm. I still don't trust him.
nope, can't trust a traitor.
Nope.
Edward likes him, you know. He reads
Yeah.
books. He's actually smart. Unlike some
Razzo.
people in
Yeah,
my group.
apparently my grammar. This is just good for power.
Grumbling all the way, Razzo walks over. Suddenly, a magical effect activates on Razzo as he activates his displacement ability. Oh wait, no, he can't activate that yet. Forgot about that. Instead, what happens is he walks over here, and he says, and he just says, "I'm sorry, Sir Tyrannos, but well, not sorry." And he goes ahead and he flourishes a single hand and casts Lightning Bolt. It does hit you, Carl, but it hits everyone else too.
Carl's a tree, right? So aren't trees like, you know?
aren't trees grounded? No, he does
Yeah,
not
aren't
get
trees grounded?
resistance to.
No.
He does not have resistance to lightning.
You know, trees explode.
Yeah,
when they're hit
trees
by
exploded
Oh,
lightning.
really?
Yeah.
So
I think
the
it's
frightened
double
goblin. I don't think the goblin matters. Don't know why I rolled that. He just gets blown up. The frightened goblin just explodes as Razzo
Dex
casts
save, right?
this. Yeah, it's a dexterity saving throw as lightning courses through.
Yogi's just cheering in the background.
Finally, a good roll.
And that was a really good roll by Razzo for his damage.
Hey.
Like, this made up for last time, not gonna lie. A lot of
Sorry,
6s and
Carl.
5s. That's 10. That's 10. That's 10. That's 8, 9. So that's a 29 points of damage. Not bad. Still a low lightning bolt, but just on the cusp of a really high one.
What?
Actually, no, that's on the higher side, because I think the average is like 24. But anyway, this goblin explodes. So, yeah. Goblin just and just falls to the ground. Sir Bone Pike fails it. Ah! Yeah, the lightning actually attracts to his metal armor and the goblin. This goblin, is this a goblin? Yeah, this is a goblin. He's dead. The operative. Oh, the operative fails it. Let's see if the other goblin failed it. He died. He fails it. He took a little bit of damage already. Taking, how much was that again? 29? Okay, yeah. No, that lightning bolt, hits this guy too, and just destroys that guy. Well, he's down, but it only hits him, and he is at 0. He's like, and it's kind of just like, you can see the electricity going over him, but he's still resisting death. I will go ahead and mark that off for Sir Bone Pike. Alright, that was Razzo's turn. It is the operative's turn. The one that just went down is going to pull a potion and shakily drink it.
I'd love to use my reaction to slap it out of his hand.
It does actually provoke an attack of opportunity. You can try to slap it.
I will take it.
Go Carl. Go Carl. HP slap.
You would have advantage because he's at 0.
Oh, then I will definitely take the attack of opportunity. Come on and roll it now, daggone it. 23.
Hey.
23. That hits. Since you succeeded by his AC by 5 or more, I'll let you grab it
Nice.
and not slap it down.
If that's the case, then and drinking it be part of that action?
No.
Reaction?
No, I won't allow that. That's some ridiculousness. However, since it is a primed, wait, you only have you only have one weapon drawn right now. So like, yeah, in that case, you have it prepped. I'll let you take it as a bonus action next turn.
Sounds good.
With that was that operative. The other operative that is next to Goldor, he is going to. Yeah, he's going to get up to Goldor, and he's going to start doing some. He's going to do some martial arts moves on you. A flurry of attacks, and yeah, that'll hit you first for the first one. He punches you for 3 points of damage, Goldor. Another one. That is going to be an 18 to hit you. I believe that hits because your AC is lower.
It's 17. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. This one hits you for 6. I'm sorry, I did the math wrong. The last hit was not 3 points, but 5 points of damage. This one is for 8 points of damage, or 7 points of damage, and 4 points of damage. My bad. I'm all over the place with math right now. Sorry about that. That is a 17 to hit you.
Yes, that's right.
All right, another minimum damage for another 4.
Oh, he got 4 hits.
He has 3 attacks.
Oh, he has 3 attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll do 4 points of damage, 4 points of damage, and then his highest one was for what was that? For 7.
Okay. Okay. Let me redo this. All right. Awesome.
All right. And with that, that is his turn. He can't do anything else really. Actually, no. He can do something. He is going to step into the shadow of this copse around you, and as a bonus action, he is going to teleport away from you. Yoink! You notice this operative just emerges from the shadows behind you. And with that, let's see. Yoink! It was operatives. Yoink. Okay, Carl, you are up.
So first thing I'd like to do is throw the potion at Ed.
Throw the potion at Ed?
Yep.
Just hit him in the dome with it.
Oh, that's... Yeah, no, he's unconscious.
Yeah.
Damn. Alright. Well, I'll just drink it.
Okay. Yeah, you can freely drink it as a bonus action because you snatched it and you had it ready to go.
I'll take it. That's what, 2d4 plus 2?
2d4, yeah, it's a regular healing potion. 2d4 plus 2. You can also spend a hit dice if you wish at this point.
Nah. I'll take the 7. Nice.
7 points of healing. All right. You'll heal 3 more points at the start of your next turn if you don't take any damage.
Alright.
With that, Carl, anything else?
Yeah. Alright, so there's the first guy who's mostly dead in front of me.
Yeah, he's electrocuted.
And then the big feller next to me.
Yeah, he doesn't look too bad yet.
Well, I might as well go ahead and finish off the little feller.
All right. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Alright.
He'll try to roll out of the way.
Just remember, you guys started this. We just wanted to walk on out of here. 20 to hit.
Yeah. How do you want to kill him?
Just a nice stab through the chest. I'll make it quick.
All right. You just stab behind you and pull the blade out. You can hear the operative just go ah!
And pull it out and continue on forward.
All right. Yeah, you're right next to Sir Bone Pike. If you want to use your next attack.
10.
10. You take the sword and you try to clash, and he goes, ha! He says, easily blocked, sir. You have no honor.
No, but I'm still alive.
Very well. Alright. Is the Razor Gnomes and the Goblins' turn. The Goblins are dead. I don't know why I even bothered. They showed up and they exploded. That's what they were for. They were not supposed to be attacked. They were supposed to just shoot at you. Razor Gnomes. So, that one Razor Gnome is going to run back to this tree and is going to fire at Yoink with disadvantage because he has to. Because you're the sorcerer of the spear, right? So, yeah. He takes a shot with his light crossbow, but misses. They only get one attack. This guy, he's a ranger. He's going to move around, and he's going to shout out, "You traitor!" Nah! Fires his shot at Razzo, which does not hit. Razzo's arcane armor, it just deflects off of Razzo's arcane armor, and he says, "I can't." And he says, "I actually cast mage armor today," as he turns creepily towards him. And with that, this Razor Gnome, yeah, his buddy's dead. He runs over to Goldor to pull aggro. Goldor, give me an athletics check for me. He's gonna try to grapple you with his razor's body. That's not gonna go well for him.
I got a 16.
Yeah, you just kind of you look and you just like it's just like that GIF of that Carl shared. How does the ground taste, my man? Young man. Bam! You just shield check him and he goes sputtering back. With that.
Tell me how the grass tastes, little man.
Yep. Basically what happened. Exactly how it happened. That is all of them, because you killed one of them. So, we go back up to the top with Sir Bone. No, he didn't roll initiative. That's the problem. I was like, what did...
Where did he go?
Yeah, he was supposed to be at initiative 14. My fault. I must have just put him in initiative by accident and not actually paid attention to where he was actually at. So in that case, Goldor, it is your turn.
Alrighty. I would like to attack the dude in front of me. The Razor Gnome.
Okay, yeah, after shield checking him, go for it.
22 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then I'm gonna use maneuvering. Hold up, let me see here. I'm gonna use maneuvering attack. I'm gonna use that on Razzo.
On Razzo. All right.
Yeah.
Where do you want him to move?
Into a better position to where he's not, getting shot at, and he's away from that big dude.
he will take it and move, and he will shift around right here, 10 feet away from. About 10 feet away from Sir Tyrannus. He says, but he will say, you're giving me orders. Fine. And with that, yeah, you go ahead and roll your damage, your extra damage.
Wow, man, I'm going so low. I got a 10 in total.
10 total. It's still damage. This guy is not looking good already.
And for my second attack, I'm gonna attack to hit again.
Go. Yeah. You have one more attack. Go ahead. You take the
19
axe.
to hit.
How much?
19.
That hits too. Two solid hits as he tries to block with this shield. He's unable to, and you strike into him.
And then I'm gonna use movement attack again, but this time on Carl, and I wanted to move him towards the back of that giant.
That's up to Carl. It's not up to you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Carl, do you want to use your reaction to do that, or do you want to stay put?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Go up behind him. I'll allow it. Quick maneuver. And with that, what was your damage on that? Goldor.
Sorry, 13.
13 damage. Okay. He looks haggard from this series, from these blows you struck into his armor. He's still in it though, and he just says in he curses in Gnomish and then in Common says your group has no honor. You will die, and you will die.
No, buddy. No.
With that, that is Goldor's turn. Edward, I need a death save. You can keep it a secret.
Gotcha. I rolled it.
It is Sir Tyrannos' turn. You're lucky I didn't auto crit you on that one. All right.
I tried to keep my honor, I swear.
Okay. Yeah, no, you tried. Honestly, that was what saved him. Yeah, no, he fails that wisdom save. He says, he actually turns to you, Edward, and says, "You fought honorably. You are the one that started this." And he full on runs past Razzo, not caring. And he full on slams into you. Carl, make me an athletics check. He's going to try to grapple you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Or acrobatics. You can be acrobatic if you want.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, he got a 20. So he grabs you. He's going to make another athletics check to hurl you to the ground and pin you down. Make another make an acrobatics check.
All right, 24 on the sprawl.
All right, he doesn't manage to pin you down. So instead, he takes two of his underarms underneath his sword, and he strikes you twice with his claws.
17 AC.
There is no honor in you, then I will show you none, sir.
I don't recall agreeing to no duel.
Fair enough. Let's see. Okay, that's an 18 to hit you, Carl.
That'll hit.
The other one does not hit at all. It streaks off of your armor. But he does deal to you. That is going to be 6 plus 4. 10 points of slashing damage. As one of the claws does dig deep gouges into the wooden armor. And he holds you there, grappled, trying to force you down. With that, Sir Bonepike will assist him in trying to push you down. He takes the back of his foot and coming around the side of you.
Is he trying to sweep the leg?
Yeah, he's coming around. He is not sweeping the leg. He's kicking. He is stepping into the back of your knee.
Ouch.
One more acrobatics check, Mr. Carl.
17.
17.
Man. Remember your training, Daniel, son.
So yeah, plus 3. So that is going to... So 17 plus... Yeah, unfortunately that's going to be the same modifier. So it's going to be a 20 to take you down. He kicks... He steps into the back of your leg, pinning you down to the ground while Sir Tyrannos, seeing you get pushed to the ground, just rests a foot on top of you. And says, Sir Tyrannos says, "That's right." He says, "Sir Bonepike, your honors, the honors." Says, says, "Yes, sir, I agree." Takes his longsword and says, "Beheading." Gets a natural 20 because he had advantage.
Oof.
Brutal. He does have a longsword. It is basically just a standard greatsword. It's not going to be any different than a troll. So that's going to be 12 automatic points of damage plus. So you take 16 points of damage automatically, Carl, plus a total of 10 more. So 24 points of damage. Or 20. No, sorry. I did the math wrong there. 26 points of damage total. And you've taken a critical hit as he cuts deeply into the side of your neck, just saved barely by the bark skin of your form. Yeah, because he didn't grapple you, he's not going to do that because they have honor. They don't use their bite attack. So, he will not do that. Instead, Yoink's turn.
Ooh, buddy, I've been thinking about this. So Edward's still lying on the ground, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Edward, he's still knocked down on the ground, dying.
Perfect. Yoink's just gonna look at him and then look back at Akul, look at him, and just thrack the heck out of his knee and do a level 1 cure wounds with it. And just yell, "Wake up! Class is not over. Go back to your plot."
Testing your reflexes.
Testing the reflex. All right. Roll that healing for me.
Heck yeah. Oh my god, 11 total.
Nice.
Hey.
So Edward, you are back up at 11 hit points.
Ooh.
Yoink, anything else from you?
Let me health.
Yes. Yoink is going to run up all the way to Razor, our friend.
Okay.
And then as soon as she's there, she's going to free action drop her pouch off her side. And then just kind of whisper, "There are things in there that can make sure someone does not go down." And then she's going to take the rest of her movement to start moving back to the guy that's by the front right tree.
Right here?
Yep.
Alright, you're going to head back there. You get about to there with that movement, with your 40 feet, but you are blurred from your speed rune.
Heck yeah. And then she is going to... I'm just going to double check the distance on Phase Step.
Phase Step is 30 feet. It's like a Misty Step.
Okay, fantastic. Would you say that would get me to Guildord?
Get you to Guildord? No, it would get you probably a little more than halfway.
Dang. Okay. In that case, can I Phase Step 5 feet above the thing that just stepped out of the shadows?
Can you...
I would like to drop in front of him. Drop on top of him.
Oh, okay, you're wanting to drop on top of him. Got it. Yeah, you can... If you're just trying to drop on top of him, I will give him a dexterity saving throw based on your spell save DC.
DC 14.
He fails it. He wasn't expecting it.
Her hair is just gonna like glow a bright red as it like flames down, and she's just going to appear right above him.
Does anything happen with your summer face step? Like, I'm pretty sure there should be stuff happening with that.
Yep. He takes 3 damage
Okay.
automatically.
So, I'm gonna say you both fall prone. Because you're just kind of bodying him.
Actually, that's only 1 damage.
Okay. 1 damage, and you didn't go high enough because you wanted the thing to burn him, right? Or did you want to do bludgeoning damage to him?
It was mainly a burn kind of thing. Just
Got it. You wanted to just get above him and then just body tackle him. Got it.
Yep.
No problem. He is body tackled. With that, yoink. I'll give you inspiration. That was clever and fun. With that, Edward, because you did not die, you gain inspiration.
Oh wow, that's so convenient.
And you hear a whisper from the sword. Keep going. It's Anarchus. With that, yoink, that was all your stuff, all your movement, everything. We go over to Razo's turn. You gave him a pouch.
Yep. The only thing inside is a health potion and I believe ball bearings.
And what?
Ball bearings.
And ball bearings, okay. He kind of shakes the pouch a bit and goes, okay. He'll go ahead and, turning towards Carl, he will go ahead and moving about. I'm gonna see if I can roll an intelligence check for him. Let's roll again because that was cocked. All right, fate. Reroll. Yeah, he gets it off. He casts another lightning bolt, hitting both the trolls, but missing Carl.
I was going to tell him to shoot it anyways if I could.
Shoot! Alright.
I can take it.
That was... Oh, that's a lot of 6s, but a lot of 2s and 1s, too. So this is going to be probably a standard for... Oh, man, actually pretty high fireball.
Fire or lightning?
Lightning bolt, sorry. You're right. I specifically didn't take fireball because I don't want to get that to a nuisance. Wow, that's 30 points exactly.
Sick.
Oh, that's right. Sir Bonepike healed from regeneration a little bit. And actually, Sir Tyrannos hasn't taken fire damage, so he heals a little bit as well.
Forgot about that.
So again, 30 points of damage. I have to roll dex saves. Sir Tyrannos first. Passes it. Sir Bonepike fails it, though. So he will take the full 30. Ow. Sir Bonepike is bloodied from that. Yeah, it's just, it's like, Sir Tyrannos just suddenly realizes, just realizes, damn it, I forgot that wizard! And he ducks down just in time for Sir Bonepike to take the full brunt of the lightning bolt to the chest. Sir Bonepike, you okay? Says, I've had worse, sir. He will still take 15 points of damage. Ah! Lost my pen. I lost it.
How's Tree Daddy looking right now?
I have no idea.
I'm not quite mulch.
Are you halfway there? Or?
Razo then calls out, I'm out of those now. He says, I regret to inform you I do not have any more lightning bolts. And with that, Razo ends his turn. It is now the operative's turn. Okay. Oh wait, the operatives are both... No, there is one left. The operative will get up and start kicking and start curb stomping Yoink. Attempting to, anyway.
Okay.
Just like... hits you with the first one, with a 17 on the die. The second is a 4 starting out, but it turns into a natural 20. You feel a rib crack. That was... I'm going to say that's cocked. Okay, that's not going to hit, and then it turns into a not hit. So, okay, you don't take a ton of damage from this. So the first hit is going to be a total of 6 points of bludgeoning damage, Yoink, as you take the brunt of it with your armor, and then he kicks you right square in the teeth. For that was a low roll, luckily. So for a total of 8, and you have a couple of broken teeth. It's not a pleasant experience. With that, it is Carl's turn. You are grappled. You are still grappled to the ground and held there.
So I'm wondering. Looks like my head is pointed towards that tree down south of me.
Yes.
I'd like to thorn whip that tree and try to assist myself in squirting free from under these guys.
All right. I will give you inspiration for this cleverness. Go ahead and make an attack roll. It's gonna be actually, yeah. Make me an attack roll because you have to with a disadvantage because you're prone against the tree. The tree's AC, since you're only trying to hit it, is only going to be 15.
Since it's a stationary object, wouldn't that give me advantage, which cancels out the disadvantage?
I'll give you a straight roll on it.
Sweet, 17.
Okay, that will hit the tree. Go ahead and make a strength check with advantage. Because this is because, well, a strength check with advantage, but then you have disadvantage because of your exhaustion. So it's just a straight roll.
13.
13. The thorn whip goes out. I'm gonna say 13. Just barely. He had disadvantage because he wasn't expecting it. You slip out from underneath Sir Tyrannus's foot, and you will take 2 points of. Well, no, you don't take any damage from the trees. These trees are just turned over from you just skirting across them and smashing through them. You are free to get up now.
All right. Yep. I will spend my movement to stand up.
Yeah, that was basically you used your action to get to the tree.
And then use my free action to sigh in relief.
You want to move anywhere else? 15 feet of movement?
Closer towards Ed and Yoink.
Okay. Yoink is on the ground, so you can go over here. And that's probably all you can move because you had to move through difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Alright. With that, we go... Good turn, Carl. We go over to the Razor Gnomes. One of them is really badly hurt, fighting Goldor. I'm going to resolve that really quick. He's going to strike... he's going to just strike at you now, because he realizes that you're way too hard to grapple. You're out of his weight class, so he just goes in for a strike. He misses terribly, streaking off, not even coming close to hitting you. He's getting tired, and you can tell. He's just like, with his war pike. These two. Oh, I gotta make a wisdom save for him. And he passes it, so he's no longer frightened. With that, he then takes aim and fires at. He turns his weapon to Razzo. Firing, he gets a 19 to hit him, and that hits. For 8 points of damage, Razzo is struck. He just goes, "Ah! You! I will deal with you." The other archer will move in. Actually, the other archer is going to get rid of his. He's gonna pull out his war pick and come down on Edward with an 18 to hit. Actually, no, that super hits. So dealing to you 8 points of piercing damage. He hits as he strikes into you with a war pick. With that, oh yeah, because we had to skip Edward because we had to go to Yoink. With that, or did I? No, I didn't skip you anyone. Okay, we're good. Yeah, because that was the razor nose. Okay, that was all they do. Goldor, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna attack the guy in front of me. Obviously.
Attacking the guy in front of you. Very well.
17 to hit.
That hits. It goes right past his shield.
Okay, and the damage is 8.
Clipping his shield, he's taken within an inch. It takes off an ear, but he's still up. He looks he grabs his ear, and you can tell he's starting to see.
And I'm gonna hit him one more time. So attack to hit.
Go for it.
That is a 19.
That hits. How do you want to kill him? Or let's see if we kill him actually.
14 damage.
14 damage. He goes. He's knocked to within an inch of his life. Ugh.
Oh, he's not dead. He's not dead yet.
No, not dead. You knock. You cut off his ear, and then you take the hat, and then as you go to strike, you hit him right in the side, and he kind of just takes it for a moment and just kind of shrugs and goes, "Ah!" But then just kind of falls over, crumpled to the ground.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to use my mirror image spell. So.
You can't use mirror image as a bonus action.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. All right, and then that's my
Do you
turn.
Do you want to move anywhere?
No, because I'm going to finish him off next turn.
Okay. Do you want to use? Well, actually, I think you used almost all of your maneuvers so far. I don't know how many you have.
Yep, I have expended all my superior dice.
Okay, Edward, it is your turn.
Ooh, alright. Do I still have my sword on me, or do I have to go pick it up?
We'll say for the sake of this that impact did knock you from your sword, maybe like
Yeah.
10, maybe like 5 feet.
Alright, can I walk over and pick it up without provoking an attack of opportunity? Because that would be the end of me.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over, item interaction to pick up my sword, and then use the rest of my movement to go back to the Razor Gnome with the war pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to strike him. Does a 12 hit?
A 12. That will miss, unfortunately. He takes the shield and he just uses it, just barely seeing what your blade can do. He glances it, and it takes off it like shears metal from the shield.
Alright, then I'm gonna go with my extra attack, and I got a 16 to hit.
That barely manages to cut through. He actually cuts into the shield and like butter and goes into the armor. Go ahead and roll your
I add 13 damage.
13. 13 damage. Alright.
And that is all for me.
He clutches the where you struck him, making sure he wasn't critically hit, but critically injured, but he wasn't. And he just goes, Gnashes his teeth at you. With that, we go to Sir Tyrnos, who has just been kind of stumbles a little bit as Carl flies out from under him. He turns. Oh, actually, no, you're right next to him, Carl. He's gonna turn to you, Carl, and say, "You fiend!" Oh, and he also heals a little bit. Fiend! He crits you, Carl.
Oh my god. Crits today.
I'm down.
That is going to be a total 13 plus 20. Yeah, that's 30. That's 33 points of damage, Carl.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah! Takes you down. You revert your form. Where did I put Carl at? Ah! You get sent down onto the ground. Yeah, Carl, that DC is too high for you to pass. You're unconscious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was 16 more than I had.
Right then. Yeah. He steps up to you, Carl. And he says to you, Yoink, and he shouts out, and he shouts out, "Those without honor die without it." And he stabs down at Carl with advantage. With that is, that's going to hit you, Carl. Yeah, so that's 2 failed death saves.
Ooh.
And then he says, "I'll leave you to that. Now for you, traitor." Walks over to Razzo. He thinks you're dead. He stabbed for all intents and purposes, he stabbed someone who was unconscious. And yeah, Carl, you have a nasty wound through your right lung. Let's see. That will hit Razzo. Yeah, that hits Razzo. Wait, let's just work this out. Slams him for a total of 13 points of damage. Razzo ain't looking too good. With that, it's Sir Tyrannos' turn. It is Sir Bonepike's turn. Sir Bonepike turns around, seeing Goldor just destroying everyone, rushes over to Goldor, and has to end his turn because he has to dash. And he bashes through terrain as he goes. He says, You worthless dog! I'll crush you. How about thee? Yoink, it's your turn.
Oh golly gee willikers. Looks down at Carl, looks at herself, and is going to quickly look at Edward. How bad is Ed? Ed just got hurt, right?
Oh, I'm definitely going through it.
I think he's at 3 or something.
I'm at 3 health, yeah.
Oh damn. Okay, so gotta start. Yeah, Yoink is going to quickly just take her quick little tool and one quick motion, throw it into the ground between everyone and cast Aid on the 3 of us. On Carl, Yoink, and Edward.
Aid has been cast. You gain 3 hit points to your maximum and 5 hit points. Sorry,
Uh,
5 to maximum and 5 hit points.
Is it 5 temp or 5 hit points?
5 hit points.
It's 5 to your maximum. Permanently for the day, for 8 hours.
Okay.
Yep. So we all get a little bit of healing, kind of, and Carl's back up.
Yeah, Carl, you come to consciousness. You have a terrible. You can barely breathe, but you're up.
That is my action. Just quickly spit my teeth into my hand. I do an action. Put that in my pocket. I'm gonna save that for later.
Okay.
And then I think the last thing she does is stand up, and she is going to pivot around the one that she's on.
Okay.
To get into flanking position for Carl.
Okay. You spin around. Do you want to use your bonus action for anything?
Yes, please. Slap on the forehead one more time, and I would like a fear from the 2 big bone people and the one that we're flanking.
What is the range on that? Is it 30?
I believe it is 30.
Okay. So you'd be able to get Sir Bonepike and the guy in front of you, but not both of the big guys.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So, and actually the one on Edward as well.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so one on Edward fails. One against you critically fails. Which is good. I don't want to kill you guys! I like you too much! Alright. Oh, and Sir Bonepike fails too. I don't have another one, so... we're just going to put concentration on you. It's concentrating real hard on being feared.
Yep. And then that'll be Yoink's turn.
Good turn, Yoink. How long does that last until the end of your turn?
Until the start of my next turn.
Got it. With that, Razzo's turn. Razzo casts Mirror Image. Yeah, he's going to cast Mirror Image, giving him magic effect, and then as he does that, he starts to displace, and he uses his displacement ability as well.
Just golf clapping in the background.
And he just goes, "Could you give me some time? Sir Tyrannos, I apologize. I was captured. There is no quarter for you." Alright, that is going to be Razzo's turn. It is the operative's turn. The operative is going to, he's feared. And he critically failed. So, I'm going to say the operative actually breaks morale. Let's see if he does. Yeah, he does. He breaks morale. He provokes attacks of opportunity as he runs away. Like as far away as he can. So,
Yoink's not going to take that.
What's up?
Yoink will not take the attack of opportunity.
Okay, Carl, you can make one with disadvantage.
Well, would he even have a sword in his hand?
Yeah, you do.
It's not worth it, but why not? Let's see here. Well, 17.
That hits the operative. He wasn't paying attention.
I'll take it. And, of course, men roll that. 4 damage.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
Hey, it's still damage. Damage.
Damage is damage.
Yeah.
It's for the kids, man. It's for the kids.
You got it. We're actually almost coming up to time, but we'll try to finish this out. Carl, with the operative full dashing away this turn, he will go ahead and make a wisdom save. passes it, so he turns around. So he stops, turns around, no longer feared. And now I can replace this nice chandelier with this nice wreath. And he turns around, he pulls out his hand crossbow, and he takes aim at all of you. But he can't do anything else. Carl, it is your turn.
Alright, it's time to regroup. So I'm going to try to move behind Yoink.
Okay, you get up from prone, move behind you. You can't really get behind her. You can kind of get there. What would you like to do?
Load up for me now. Alright, so I'm going to upcast Cure Wounds on myself.
Upcast Cure Wounds. Go for it.
8, 10.
10 points of healing. Alright. Anything with the bonus action or item interaction?
I think I'm going to have to do it. I've got one of those lesser potions.
Sleight of hand check. Sleight of hand check with disadvantage because of exhaustion.
Both.
Can you?
Actually, not bad. 17.
You pass. You can take the potion as bonus action.
I will do that. All right.
Okay. It's a minimum roll one, right? So.
Yeah, this was the one that was max of 12 or something like that.
But yeah, max of 12. That's what it was.
The 2d4 plus 2 to start with. All right. So 8 to start with. I'll take it.
I'm pretty sure it was a minimum. The minor potions were just a minimum roll greater, so they just heal automatic 12. Right?
Well, that was outside of combat, though.
Oh, that's
In
right.
combat, yeah. But still, these were, since they were the lesser versions, they maxed out at 12 no matter what.
Got it. Okay.
You couldn't roll no higher than that.
Got it.
But I'll take the 8 for sure.
Okay, with that, Carl, it is the Razor Gnome's turn. See you taking a potion. This one is going to take aim at. Is going to reposition here. He's gonna take his crossbow, move a bit over here, and he's going to take a shot at Edward. Still has a little bit of cover. So, Edward, you have a little bit of cover from this shot. Misses. As he tries to aim, it hits a bunch of branches and misses. The guy you're fighting attempts to hit you with his war pick, but he's terrified of you. But he's terrified of Yoink, and it's freaking him out. And he's like looking over at Yoink, and he tries to hit you, but you manage to dodge out of the way. With that, we come back to Goldor.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Mirror Image on myself.
Very well.
And then I'm gonna attack and finish off the guy in front of me.
You can't, so you cast the spell, you use the item, that takes your action. You can't make another attack this turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's basically use that or attack. It's not both.
Oh, okay, so
I'll go get
I don't have 2 actions, I just have 1. Okay. Yeah, then I guess I'll have my turn there.
Alrighty. Your image is up, full defenses have been activated. With that, Edward, it is your turn.
Ooh, alright. With the person in front of me, I want to kind of go for his legs with both of my attacks. I got a 19 to hit,
Okay.
and then another 19 to hit.
Both of them hit.
Alright, I'm using both hands. That's gonna be 14 damage for my first one.
14 damage with the first. Okay.
And then 11 with the second.
11 with the second. 14 and 11 is
5.
25. Yeah. Okay. You strike in. You cleave his shield in twine as this attack goes through and bisects his entire arm, or bisects the arm a little bit. The arm is like there's a huge gash in his shield arm, and he goes ah, and then you strike in and strike him right in the shoulder, and it eats through the shoulder. But the armor does manage to glance off the blade just a little bit, and it takes off basically part of his shoulder cap. But and he falls to the ground, dying.
Was he knocked to 0?
Yes, he was knocked to 0, so you do gain your healing. As the blood,
6. That's max.
as the blood pours from his wounds, it seals and heals yours.
Alright.
All right, and movement and bonus action if you want.
Movement. I will move over towards Razzo behind the guy I was supposed to be dueling.
Okay, behind him. Okay,
Yes.
easy done.
And if I'm allowed to. Alright, Seth, it's time for our duel.
You can totally do that. He turns around and says, "You would. I honorably won."
Yes, you did. But they joined in the middle, so we have to have a rematch.
Let me see. Allow me to deal with this traitor, and I will acquiesce. I will accept this. And with that, Edward, it is Sir Tyrannus' turn. Let me check the time. Okay, we're looking good. It's how long do I have? Is it until 8 or 9?
I believe it's till 8.
Till 8. Okay. So we're about to
Us, anyway.
call it quits for the stream pretty soon, but we'll try to finish up as much as we can, and we will continue on after whenever they are. But the next group that is coming in.
Okay,
What's up?
they're saying we're good to go over if we need to.
We're good to go over.
Nice.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Alright.
I got no messages. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, they're in Twitch chat.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm not watching Twitch, so got lots of things in my face. So,
Yeah.
all right. Sir Tyrannus attacks Razzo, but misses completely. Oh wait, right. Wait, no. Oh no, it would. Yeah, actually, it would hit his mirror image though. So I do have to roll for the mirror image. Hopefully, he actually rolls low. But he rolled high, and it catches a mirror image. Okay, he's gonna attack again on Razzo. Still managing to catch the mirror image, which does decapitate the mirror image. So he only has one left. Sir, he attacks again. Oh, and that attack will not hit the mirror image. Razzo manages. Oh, whoops! The other attack was supposed to be actually a disadvantage. Okay, no. So the last attack misses Razzo and his copy as he attempts to deal with the traitor. But Razzo manages to tank him with that. Oh, and Sir Tyrannus' wounds start to heal. Or still will continue to heal. All right. And with that, it is Bonepike's turn. At the start of his turn, he will also start. You can see Goldar, his wounds starting to heal.
Catch with fire.
But he is frightened, so he is frightened as Yoink comes around the corner. He just goes, what is? Be brave, Sir Bonepike. And he tries to strike you twice, Mr. Goldar. That is going to hit. That would hit you and your mirror image. Go ahead and roll your mirror image for me.
And that is a D8, right?
It is a D20 for the mirror image.
D20. That is an 18 for the mirror image. That
sounds like it hit the. So one of your mirror images is cut aside as Sir Bonepike strikes it. Another one. He attacks again. Go ahead and roll me another mirror image.
That is a 15.
15. Okay, so another mirror image is annihilated as he. These shadows! Curse these shadows! Oh, actually, he was supposed to roll with disadvantage. That's still hit. Wait, yeah, that's still hit, and that's still hit. Okay, so he still hits the mirror images. With that, we go to Yoink.
Aw, buddy. Okay, so would Yoink have enough movement to get in melee with Sir Tyrannos and then leave?
And then do what?
And then leave.
And then leave. You can use an item interaction to dash over to him and then try that. Yeah. I'd let you make an athletics check to dash over to him and then leave.
Sure. I'd like to use the 40 feet of movement with that. So you said athletics?
Okay. It is going to be an athletics check.
Heck yes. 17 total. And
17.
then just gonna quickly run up to him and just tap him on the back and say, the issue with honor is you're gonna die with it. And then I'm just gonna back out, trying to take his attack of opportunity.
I will allow it. As your speed rune kicks in, you dash up, say that line, and then back away, provoking an attack of opportunity. Sir Bonepike will, or Sir Tyrannos will take it. Oh, that's a natural 20.
I need it.
What's up?
Go for it. Hit me.
Yep, that's an automatic 20 points of damage, plus an additional 18.
How much total?
So for a 38.
That is exactly how much I had. This plan did not end.
Oh.
No.
I'm sorry.
The 20s today have been brutal.
That's true. You do that, and he says, be gone, knave. And not only do you run away, he slams you back away,
Damn.
impacting you directly. Just it straight up goes right up, and it breaks all most of your ribs on your left side. Going.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
With that,
I just want to say there was a plan from him attacking me. That's it. That's my turn. Thank you.
I know. I'm so sorry that you can't predict the 20s. My dice have been really brutal. Razzo's turn. You provoked attack of opportunity. He will go ahead and he will walk over to you and put a potion in your and he will pull from the pouch the little bottle that you got, and he'll start to pour the liquid into the wounds, or actually into your mouth to heal the wounds, the internal bleeding. What was that potion? It was just a basic.
Yes.
That was rather brash. Razo just goes, that was rather brash. And
Watch it
then
out, though.
turns around and walks back over to Sir Tyrannos. With that, he will.
What was the healing on that?
I'm so sorry. I completely spaced it. 7 points of healing.
Thank you.
At least you're not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So that was both a critical and 0. So that's 2. Edward, you went down. Did you take a critical, Edward? I can't remember.
When I was down.
Did you ever take a critical hit?
I did. That's what knocked me unconscious. I was thrown into the tree.
That's right.
You said that it broke a few of my ribs.
Got it. All right. With that, that is Razo's turn. He can't do anything as a bonus action. He's a wizard. It is the operative's turn. The operative turns around, assesses the situation. He'll take aim at Razo, the traitor. Or, yeah, he's gonna take. Yeah, he has a clear shot on Razo. Clear enough, anyway.
I'm still waiting for our duel.
That is a cop die. Okay, that would hit. Does Razo's. Yeah, it eats up his last mirror image. Is shot away, and Razo goes, shit! Damn it! With that, it's Carl's turn.
I'm gonna run it, yoink, pull out the old med kit, and do a quick little patchwork job.
Alright. Come over to Yoink and administer first aid. You see that she has several you can tell that she has probably several broken ribs on that one side, so you start to apply a healing salve to that area.
And let's see. Oh, sorry, Beyond's making me refresh.
Also, Karu, you haven't taken damage. You gained 3 hit points from the last potion you took.
That's right. Alright. I will take it. So, Yoink, you get back 3 and 9, 12.
Alright.
12 more hit
Thank you.
points. Now,
It's a bold move.
and then I'm going to take another couple steps back.
Okay. Couple steps back. And anything else, Carl?
No, I think that's it for right now.
Alright. Is the Razor's Gnome's turn. That Golder that you took out, Golder, stands back up because he rolled a natural 20 to resist dying. But because of the injuries that he sustained, the attacks with disembowel doesn't matter. He rolled a 6. He does not hit you. So he tries to hit you. You hear him get up behind you, Goldor, and you just duck out of the way as his war pick swings over your head. And goes, ah! And Razor Gnome. Is there another one? Yeah, there is one more. He takes a shot. He's gonna take a shot at Carl because you just saw Carl healing. But he misses. He misses Carl terribly. It actually sails over both Yoink and it sails over Yoink as it goes by. All right, funny. With that, Goldor, it is your turn.
Alright, let's finish this guy off. I'm gonna attack him.
Go ahead.
So to hit, I rolled a 20.
A natural 20 or just a 20?
No, it wasn't a natural 20. It was just a 20. 14.
All right, he has no more resists deaths. So as a minion, so what happens to him?
I'm gonna cut his head off.
Okay, yeah, no. You just swing. You duck his warp pick, and as he's swinging, he realizes his mistake. As you swing around and just take the head right off, it goes sailing. There's a spout of blood as he is repelled. He just goes, ah!
Yes. And then I'm gonna turn around to face my future opponent.
All right. You face the fearsome Sir Bonepike, sir.
And,
He is no longer frightened.
Can I still attack him?
Yeah, you can. You have 2 attacks at her.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll to hit.
Go for it.
I got 17.
That is exactly his AC.
Ooh.
So that does not hit.
No, that does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, that's right. Okay. In that case, 11 damage.
11 damage. Okay. Whittling him down.
And then I'm gonna use for my bonus. I'm gonna use second wind.
Second wind. Go for it. Roll that healing.
Hey.
Fighters, man. I swear.
Fighters, they have so many actions.
So-
Unbeatable.
So I get a 9. An extra.
9 healing. You just take that victory and you just go and strike into Sir Bonepike's knee, and he just goes cheap shot, sir.
And that is it for my turn.
All right. With that, Edward, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna hit him with the 1-2. You know, full swings of the sword. I got a 17 to hit, and then a 22.
Okay, both of those hit. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You got what was the first one?
17.
He parries that one.
Okay. So I deal 13 points of damage, and I already factored in his resistance.
Oh, you still have the blade flaming?
Oh no. Okay, never mind. It'll just be 11.
All right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good. It's there's a lot going on. Death is on the table.
Oh yeah.
All right, Edward, that is your turn. It is Sir Tyrannos' turn. He has not taken fire damage. He starts to heal, and that wound that you just inflicted is nearly seals over immediately, Edward.
Dead.
With that, Sir Tyrannos says, A good blow, sir. But now you face me. He swings. He makes a grand swing, starting with Razzo and continuing. He'll try to cleave into Edward, attacking both of you, but attacking Razzo first with disadvantage because of Razzo's ability. That still hits Razzo. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Would I get a buff to AC?
What's up?
Would I get a buff to AC since he's attacking both of us? So wouldn't I have more time to react?
No, because he's just such a huge creature and wouldn't.
That's
swings.
fair. 10-foot reach.
Just asking for any. You're asking for any
Look,
grass.
I'm picking at scraps. All right. I don't want to go down again.
All right. Razzo is. Oh, he's still alive with that through that hit, but he's nearly down.
Ooh.
Strikes into him. He just goes. "Argh!" He just goes "Argh!" as it deflects, as it impacts into the mage armor. He's just like Edward, the attack against you doesn't have disadvantage because of that. Unfortunately, it's going to hit you.
Damn it. How much damage?
Yeah. It's going to be not too much. It's only going to be 13 points of damage.
I'm at 1 health.
What? Oh,
Can I use my reaction to use Hellish Rebuke?
yes, you can.
Hey, that's what's up. Alright,
Aw,
can you
that
give me a
was
dex
tough.
save?
He fails the dex save.
Ooh.
Terribly.
I want to roll it on Beyond this time. Don't fuck me over. Alright, 14 damage.
Oof! And he
That's-
doesn't...
Get fucked.
Oof!
14 damage on the Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, 14 hit damage, and that's fire. Oh, he takes half of it because of the resistance.
Yeah, 7.
Okay.
Look, I thought he
But-
would attack me again, so that was my...
But that is a dexterity saving throw, not an attack roll, so that does burn him, so he will not regenerate next turn.
Ooh. Beautiful.
Okay, with that, it is Sir Bonepikes. Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Tyrannus has one more attack.
Yeah, I was about to say he was gonna attack me.
No, he's gonna attack Razzo, and he hits
Oh,
him.
okay. Thank God.
And Razzo doesn't have the
Sorry,
displacement
Razzo.
anymore. So Razzo is
Probably
flat set
die.
now.
Razzo's flat, so.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's see if he can. Oh
That's
wow.
a chance for retribution.
Okay, Razzo stays conscious, but he is knocked down. Ah! Flattened by the blade.
Oh,
Ah!
I will defend him.
You will pay for your transgressions. And Sir Tyrannus doesn't look like he's gonna stop attacking him. With that, it is Sir Bonepike's turn. Sir Bonepike starts to heal a little bit. You see Goldor that strike to Sir Bonepike's knee almost fully heal. And with this, he goes ahead and makes 2 longsword strikes against you. Does a 16 hit you, Goldor?
Nope, AC is 17.
You buttress against the blow, but unfortunately, the second attack will hit you.
Ooh.
I still got one more merit.
Yeah, the attack was over 2021.
Oh.
Minimum damage though, so that is only going to be 6 points of slashing as he comes in with a sword. It crashes against. It goes right over your head, and then he follows up with a second swing, and that one hits into your pauldron on the side.
It's only but a scratch.
It's only a scratch.
Formidable you are. Yoink! It is your turn.
Ooh. Yoink is clutching her side, and she's gonna try to slowly get up without breaking any further ribs. She's just gonna look up at Sir Tyrannos and then reach for her crossbow. The other hand's gonna come up and she's gonna start casting Gravity Bow on her crossbow.
Heck yeah! All right, that's an action to cast.
Yep.
All right.
So that's item action, and now she's just looking up, and her hair's going to start flickering, fire sparks coming off, and starts levitating as she's gonna just yell out, "Hey, friend! The difference of honor and living is I'ma hold a grudge. Make sure you kill them when they're down." And I'm gonna use my bonus action to do the grudge rune,
Okay.
and I'll use the attack action with that.
Okay. Yeah. Right
bonus.
rune is
Okay.
placed.
But I'm guessing a 10 doesn't hit, so I'd like to use that DM inspiration.
You
Please.
can go right ahead.
Does the 16 hit?
Let me check. Unfortunately, it hits the armor, but the armor deflects deflects it off. It seems to be a little more resilient armor than normal.
Okay.
So he has a little bit. So that unfortunately does not do any damage, and he just goes. Pah! Your strike was useless.
Just miscalculated. And I'm gonna back up 20 feet.
Just 20 feet, or do you want to use all your movement?
Oh
wait, you spent half. That's right, you spent half to get up. All right. So you have to be running to use the speed rune, but so you're not displaced right now, but you can do that.
Fantastica. Thank you. That's my turn.
All right. With that, it is Razzo's turn. He is bleeding out on the ground, but he is conscious. Okay. And he pulls out of his pocket a potion and drinks it. Healing a bit, he puts the vial in his cloak, back in his cloak, and he gets up from prone, and he will, let's see, what will he do? He's gonna, nope, he can't do anything, he just stays there. Hey. With that, it's the operative's turn. The operative looks over at it. Yeah, you guys are all hidden, kinda. He's gonna move over here and take a shot against Carl. Oh, he does have to get a little closer. And he pulls out his hand crossbow and starts to fire at you, Carl.
No!
That's going to be a 17 to hit you.
That gets me.
Ah.
Ouch.
You take 6 points of piercing damage as a hand crossbow's bolt hits into the armor. He has to reload with one of his attacks and then scores another hit on you. That is a 17 on the die. But minimum damage, 4 damage. So, how you looking, Carl?
Not too good.
Better than me, I hope.
Oh yeah, I'm doing better than that.
Carl, it's your turn.
Whose turn is it?
It is Carl's turn.
Ooh. Carl, do us proud.
It's going to be an expensive round. So I need.
Let's go ahead and change
Okay, so I need to move towards the operative.
Alright.
And as my bonus action, burn a spell slot once I get up to him, or near enough to him. I'll have an extended reach and go back into Woe Guardian form.
Alright. You transform, and with your reach, you actually can reach, like, basically, you only have to go there to get him. So you're perfect. Alright. So you're right up on, you're within his reach. What would you like to do?
Alright, yep. Yeah, I'm going to use both my attacks on him.
Get him.
Come on, baby. 16.
That hits the operative. You batter into him.
And second one definitely hits then.
2 hits.
And, of course, daggone minimum roll.
Do you want to use your mark?
Yeah. So 9 damage so far. And then, alright, so 11 total.
11 total. Okay. On the first one?
No, that was both. I rolled really
Ooh.
bad again.
Ooh.
Okay, so
I can't buy a good damage roll.
yeah. You take 2 swings. He manages to avoid a direct hit, but you can still see that in doing this, he's actually wearing himself thin, and he does look very hurt.
I almost forgot to roll the
The second damage.
extra damage. Yeah, the secondary damage. So it's 5 more.
5 more. There you go. Yeah, he's starting to look very, very tired. He's looking exhausted, having to dodge your attacks. One of them does make partial impact, but it only slightly grazes him. And he's just like, ah! Alright, he's still up though. Carl, that is your turn. Awesome turn. Tenacious. The Razor Gnome in the back is going to fire once more at Carl. Now that you're a Wold Guardian, he's not going to have cover. Let's see if he can hit you. No! He fails. This guy can't shoot. He's a Stormtrooper. Alright, that's the only Razor Gnome left. And he might just start retreating. If things go badly. Goldor, it is your turn. You are facing off with Sir Bonepike.
Ooh, okay. If I move, he gets attack of opportunity, right?
Only if you move out of his reach. If you move around him, that's fine.
Yeah, I like to move around him.
Okay.
Just kind of circle around him, to where I'm facing his back.
Okay.
And then I would like to attack him.
Go for it.
24 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is a 12.
12. Okay. 12 points of damage. Got it. Sorry.
Yep.
You hear a whisper in your ear. Actually, don't forget, my friend. You can curse him.
Okay, so I go, I use Hexblade Curse on him,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna use.
That's your bonus action, and then you can use your last attack if you want.
Yep, I'm gonna use my last attack to use Eldritch Blast to blast him back.
You can't. I wouldn't do that. You'd have disadvantage on the attack roll.
Yeah, you'd have this.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just then I'll attack him again.
Okay. So the Hexblade's Curse will work with the regular axe too.
Oh, really? Okay, I did not know.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you want me to roll to hit?
Yep, it's same thing, just an attack. For those of you at Twitch, Goldor is a kind of a new player, so still getting the ropes.
21 to hit.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll damage, and don't forget your bonus proficiency damage.
11. That's 14.
14 points of damage. Oof.
Heck yeah.
Wow. Okay, I gotta write this down.
I have to take
That
notes.
is end my turn. That is the end of my turn.
You got it. Good turn. Yeah, that was amazing. Edward, we're back to you.
Ooh, exciting. All right, I'm gonna hit him with a good old 1-2 again.
Go for it.
18 and a 25 to hit.
He turns to you and says, "Ah!" And he deflects your blow with his parry ability, which means he doesn't have. Oh! You know what? Yoink, you regain all of your hit points, because I'm pretty sure, used parry and couldn't make an attack of opportunity.
That. Okay.
Fate has reversed itself. Yoink, you regain all your hit points back.
So that also means I have not used grudge.
We'll say he still got the effect. we'll say time has. We'll just say because of the wibbly wobbly of this that he still struck you, but he wasn't supposed to, and so fate recorrects.
Okay.
That was on me for not remembering. Anyway, with that, yeah, Edward, what was your damage on your one attack?
10 damage.
10 damage. Okay.
I got 10 damage. I know, it's a lot.
It's enough.
Is it?
No, he's not dead.
Ah, come on.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your day.
You just crushed all of my hopes and dreams.
He goes, "Ugh! Your strikes are true, good sir. But let me take care of this ne'er-do-well." And with that, Edward, yeah, all right. Razo is up. He has mage armor. Search. Edward, did you have a bonus action or movement you wanted to use?
I can't use any of my bonus actions because that kind of makes me cut myself.
That's true.
Or amplifies that effect. And I would not like to move away.
Got it. You can move away if you want. He has spent his reaction. So.
Yeah. I don't wish to. I'm gonna stay up on him.
All right. He admires that. For staying with the fight, I give you inspiration again.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm also just kind of dumb, so.
You're not dumb. All right. So Tyrannos attacks Razo. That actually misses. Razo's mage armor holds firm against the first strike. He goes, "Ha! Not armor and magical armor." Tries to take off his head. Gets a critical fail. There we go.
Hell yeah.
Razo, I'm gonna say with that, Edward, you have an attack of opportunity.
Fuck yeah. I got a artificial 20 to hit. 12 damage. That's what's up.
Got him.
Ooh.
Ugh! Ugh, that was a misstep. This time hits Razo, dropping him to 0. Again. Let me roll the damage so I see it. Razo goes unconscious. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be 17 DC. He passes that's a second 18 on stay conscious. Amazing. This gnome won't go down. But now he doesn't have any more healing potions. So. Ah! He just goes, "Ugh!" and falls to the ground. Shoulders his wounds. Actually, that's a good point. He's gone down twice.
This poor guy.
Poor guy.
He hasn't taken any criticals, though. That's the nice part. That took all of his attacks, though, on Sir Tyrannos. So, yeah, he can't attack you this turn, Edward. So Razo kind of just saved your ass.
Yeah.
Sir Bonepike. Sir Bonepike will turn around, and he will lash out it with his long sword. Failing to hit on the first strike. "Stand still and fight me, you knave." Getting a 17 on the last one. I think that hits you, Goldor. For a total of 12 points of slashing damage as you are hit by it. As it misses the first strike, he follows up with a overhand strike, and you have to eat it with your shield, and the impact is kind of bruises your shield arm. With that, we go to Yoink. It is your turn. Oh.
Okay, so she's upset. So she's just gonna start unleashing attacks on him with the repeating crossbow. 17 to hit.
Okay. Against Sir Tyrannus?
Yep.
17 will indeed hit him, yes.
Sick nasty. How about a 22 will hit then?
That'll hit, yeah.
Bonus action attack. 15.
That one will, the chainmail will resist.
Okay. And so with Gravity Bow, it turns it from a D8 into a D10?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Double check.
if it's a light crossbow, right?
Mhm.
Then yeah, it steps it up 1 damage die.
12 plus 20 total.
20 points of damage total.
Yep.
Damn.
Oh. Sir Tyrannus is brought to a knee by the 2 strikes. It's just like they just the 3 strikes just across Sir Tyrannus. He's knocked to a knee, and as he's at your feet, Edward, he says, he says, I concede. No more. With that, Razzo's turn. He makes a save. Okay. The operative's turn. He shoots at. Actually, no. He is going to. Yeah, no. Sir Tyrannus just gave up. He breaks. Yeah, he breaks morale and runs. Breaks morale and runs off the board. And with that, the operatives are gone. There's only one done. There's one dead on the ground. They are fleeing combat. He is retreating. Carl, it is your turn.
I'm going to tempt fate. No, I won't. I'm going to go ahead and move behind Ed and see if I can patch him up real quick.
So giant tree road. Carl comes up behind you and just kind of smears a little bit of sweat from your brow there.
It's all the payment from the apples I had to give him.
I like to think of it as just some branches come out, wrap around the wound. And there's just that little bit of magical healing power to it, even though technically it only.
It's a tree splint.
Kit.
It's a tree splint.
That's right. Oh, and Max rolls it. Nice. 15 hit points.
15 hit points to the unkillable Edward. Excellent.
Yes.
Alrighty. Healing.
I should have kept track of all the times
Carl.
I've gone down.
Alright, healer. Well, Carl, any bonus actions for you?
You know what? No, actually, no, I don't have any. But
Okay.
I'll probably just take another 5 foot step back towards that tree to the south, and that'll be it.
Got it. The Razor Gnome continues his assault and fires. Actually, yeah, no. He draws his he shoulders his he drops his he runs up, dropping his crossbow right here, pulls out his war pick, comes up to Razzo and slams down on him. And he just and let's see if he hits. Razzo does have that's gonna hit. Razzo and he comes down on him. And he says, and all this guy says is, he says, "Traitors die in shame," as he embeds the spike into Razzo's head, pulls it out, blood pooling out.
No.
Razzo! Oh, anyway.
Starts to head back.
Oh, cool.
Starts to head back towards his comes back to his crossbow, starts to kneel down to grab it, but he's out of actions. So with that, Razzo is out of initiative.
Depression. Alright, I guess I'll take his wizard book.
Goldor, it is your turn.
Awesome. Alright. I'm gonna attack this giant troll in front of me.
Okay, you can attack Sir Bonepike. Go for it.
25 to hit.
Yeah, it's.
And then that's plus that's 14 damage.
Also, for your folks at home, the newest player also rolled ridiculous on his stats, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn everything.
14 damage. Okay. That brings Sir Bonepike to almost a knee as he is struck. Ah! He kneels down for your second attack.
Alright. 22 to hit.
That hits too. Go for it.
That is 13. No, not 13. 16 to hit. 16 damage. Sorry.
16. I was gonna say 16 to hit. You already attacked. 16.
Sorry,
16 damage. Okay. You bring Zern Bonepike to the ground. Striking him in the face, he goes to the ground and falls. And there's a big splashing sound as he is brought down. Oh, Jesus. Okay. But you can see that the wounds are regenerating. Goldor.
Next turn.
Now he does go. He is like he straight up as he goes. Ah, that was like, and you knock him cold, and he just goes ah, and falls unconscious for a moment. Edward, it is your turn. Or I'm sorry, Goldor. Do you want to move anywhere?
No, I want to finish him off next time.
Got it. Edward, it is your turn.
Alright, gonna hit him with a good old 1-2. 14 does not hit.
No, it does not. He deflects
And
it.
then a 21.
And then, as he goes to try to parry anyway, but the blade he takes, your sword isn't flaming, is it?
No. Still
Okay.
sharp.
Yeah. He takes the blade, and he tries to block it with his parry, but it goes straight through the blade, and cuts through it, and into his shoulder, and he just goes, ah! Roll the damage.
11 damage.
Okay. He stays conscious, but he is at 0 hit points currently. You
And
absorb
I get
a
to
little
heal.
bit. You absorb a little bit of health from him.
I get 3 more health.
He just goes, and then he sees that, and he just goes, "What?" He goes, "What? My God! What are you?" As the blade's still embedded into him, but you can see it's still starting to heal.
I'm gonna give him the good old devilish stare and cock my head at him.
With that,
And that's all.
all right, Edward, that is your turn. It is Sir Tyrannos' turn. Because he hasn't taken fire damage, he regenerates. The blade is actually embedded into his skin. The skin heals over the blade. He rises back up. The blade just kind of slipping out, and he throws his massive sword aside that's broken, shattered, and that has been cut in two, and he says, "Rah! Then you will face. You won't fight with honor. Then you will have none either. But I admire your tenacity." It attacks you with 5 attacks.
Woo!
Excuse me. Before he does this, after he gave me the compliment, I'll just... Thank you, kind sir.
Okay.
and then I will receive my punishment.
Yeah, Edward, your AC is 15.
Yes.
He hits
not
you with-
high enough.
He hits you with the first, dealing 14 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna die.
He'll hit you with the second one.
Oh, damn it!
Dealing a total of 10 points of slashing damage.
I am down.
You're down.
Mm-hmm.
He takes your... yeah, he's in a flurry. He's going to attack one more time with advantage. Oh, it's a natural 20 anyway. Okay.
That is 2 failures right
Yeah,
there.
it's 2 death failures. As soon as he sees that as soon as he's ripped into you with 3 attacks, though, he tosses you aside.
Hit me!
And he goes after Carl. You, and he says, your knight will die with honor. You, on the other hand, that is a 14 to hit you, Carl. That doesn't hit, but the second one does. Actually, yeah, no, he full on comes into you. He misses with his claw, Carl, but then he headbutts you with his spiked helm. Oh, and that is a different damage, isn't it? Yeah, it
That's
is.
a D4, right?
A D6, but yes. Take 10 points of piercing damage as I roll max.
Rip.
Just slams into you. The horns just piercing into the armored form of you. With Sir Tyrannus done, it is Sir Bonepike's turn. He also regenerates and gets back up. Comes to consciousness quickly. That hurt. Gets back up. Goldor attacks and grabs his blade again. For 16 to hit you, which will fail. That is a cocked die. And no, he fails to hit you, Goldor. Alright. With that, Yoink, it is your turn.
I'm just looking at the giant tree and yelling out, "Can you do fire?"
I got something for it, yeah?
Okay, good. Action to pull out the firebolt that we had gotten from the one wizard salesman. That'll be my action from the bag of holding, and then I'm gonna load that in. And for my bonus action, I'm gonna fire into this guy.
Okay, we have a 5-minute countdown. Go ahead and make your attacks.
$11.
11. Okay. 2 hits, that misses, unfortunately.
That does miss. That is my turn.
It's worth a try.
Alright, do you want to shoot again?
It was my action to take it out, and my bonus action to attack.
Oh, well, did you have to pull it from the bag?
Yep.
Okay, that's why. Thank you for doing that. I'll give you inspiration.
I appreciate it.
Put it on the attack roll.
You know what? I'll allow it. I haven't said you missed yet. So.
Do it. He just greenlighted it.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I'll let it happen.
That.
I'll let it happen.
Come on, Yoink.
That's even worse.
Okay.
That's a 10 total.
Oh. Okay, you'll gain the inspiration back, but that's unfortunate. Carl, it is your turn. Unfortunately, Yoink's attempts failed as the flaming arrow sails off and explodes into the distance against a tree.
It's alright. I reach into my bag,
Okay.
And pull out one of my alchemist fire flasks.
There you go.
Yes. Finish with fire.
And yeah, this is what you get for running at me.
All right, it is an improvised weapon. Unless you want to unarmed strike him with it.
I don't know if I could survive that very well. Let's see here. You know what? Yeah. All right, let's be safe about it.
So an improvised weapon is just your strength. Is this your strength plus your no proficiency?
All right. Well, I'm going to spend my inspiration.
Okay. It's good. It's a good plan.
Oh, there we go. All right, 22.
That hits.
Hey.
It shatters against. Sir Tyrannos looks in his eyes grow wide as you throw the alchemist fire at him. How much damage does it do?
I believe it's 2d6. Oh, no, sorry. D4 fire damage at the start of each of its turns.
Okay, at the start of his turns. Okay, that will effectively eliminate. It shatters onto him. It's gonna burn against him. It's not a direct attack. So yeah, that's gonna suck. Okay, he starts on fire and he just goes no. Starts to try to put it out. Carl, that was one attack.
All right. Come on, baby. All right, 19.
19. That hits.
Take
He
that.
will. Oh no, he's not wielding his melee weapon. Oh, he can't do that anymore. It's unfortunate.
And I will use my last use of favored foe.
Okay. Tell me the damage, sir.
So first hit, 10 damage. And
Okay.
then bonus action for his offhand weapon. Alright, 23.
So I'm gonna roll that you don't have the bonus. You don't have the offhand because you used the alchemist fire.
Oh, I figured since you ruled it as a part of the attack action.
I do, but
No.
you have to have a free hand to use it. So
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
yeah.
Never mind.
But
You're
it's
right.
okay because how do you want to do this? You killed Sir Tyrannos.
Yes.
Oh, well, then it would just be the sword straight through the neck, out the back of the, through the spine. I'll just sever the brainstem cleanly.
Yeah.
And because of the fire licking up into the wounds, cauterizing it, Sir Tyrannos' eyes grow cold. And he is slain. As he falls, you pull the blade out, he falls to the ground dead.
And I'm gonna holler at Golder, say, keep chopping for just a minute. And I'm gonna spend all my movement and run towards Ed.
Got it. I'll let you have a quick assessment of his condition, and with that, you know his condition.
It's bad.
He was fucked up. Yeah.
I probably broke at least all my ribs.
Gotcha.
I've been
All right.
like
And
twice,
unfortunately,
gone down
and
twice.
unfortunately for people on Twitch, that is going to close me out. We will be continuing this, but I hope the next game goes absolutely splendid. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.